Bang! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to How to Trade During the Midday. That's your boy right there, Joey Options, and I'm Sharif. And shout out to everyone for joining us on this tariff reversal Monday. No. Tariff pause Monday.
Tariff pause Monday.
On very specific sectors, not everything too, by the way. All right, guys, who's here? Who's yeah, there we go. YouTube, bring them in, baby. DEFCON Juan. I love that. DEFCON Juan. I wouldn't mess with a guy called DEFCON Juan. Vern, Benjamin Wiki, not Wiki Leaks, but Benjamin Wiki. Thomas Johnson Skull. Shout out to Pizza Rat and Mean Gene Okerlund. No, Mean Gene 1980. We got Mark Susi. We got Bold, Day Trader Cut and Gur Games. Shout out to the Ozan. China is yelling already in the chat. Omega Zero, Jimmy J and Luis. Nightbot. My bad. Michelle Meir, Escape Planet. Who else, baby? Come on. There you go. Get your names in the chat. We got Juju. We got my man Bovin, Dr. Jane, Alligator Trader, Chris B, Blue Arrow, Volky, How Y Tech, Anish, American, RVs, and Apogee. We got Tough Aldrin. We got All Tank, Common Sense. We got as well. Shout out to Blue Arrow and LY. We got T Money. We got Los Polos Hermanos. We got Walid Nabia. We got Tony Sapwell and another Ozan. There's multiple Ozans in the chat now. No, we can't have that. We can't have that. We're going to have one Ozan only. Y'all are going to have to fight for the name. Shout out to you guys, Cold King, Blue Army, and Through the Ages. Shout out to everybody there.
Shout out to everybody there in the chat, man. How was the weekend? Good, I guess?
It was good, you know. There was some highs and some lows, but I already told you about that.
Yeah,
I'll leave that for a later rant.
We'll leave that for later because we got other things to rant about here.
Yeah. There's a couple of things to rant about.
My lack of sleep over the weekend.
Oh, what happened?
Well, when you get a new puppy and they don't really know how to
that's right, the puppy, not the puppy.
So, yeah. The guy was crazy. The guy was wilding out all weekend.
I told you it was a big responsibility, but you already knew that. You want to chime in on a little bit of what's going on?
Yeah. So we went and picked him up there on Saturday.
Yeah.
He was good. Cried a little bit on the way home. But then other than that, he was good all the way until he decided at 11 o'clock he was wide awake. And
now you have to be wide awake.
No, I have to be wide awake. Last night, same thing. The first night, I was scared. First night home, I'm like, oh, man, this isn't good. He was, like, crying intensely hard, and I'm like, all right, I had to let him out, so I slept on the couch with him, but then last night, toughed it out. And I just went to the couch by myself. So.
It's okay. Is he's probably crapping everywhere, too.
Yeah, a couple of accidents.
And that kind of just goes without saying.
Couple of accidents there.
Growing pains,
but he got it on the pad a couple of times, too, there, so shout out him, shout out Milo.
By the way, I got that spray. Do you have that spray? You got it? I was going to give you, a bunch of
spray here, guys.
I was trying to help out.
Yeah, but let's get into these markets. Enough of this puppy talk. Let's see what we got going on, guys. We took a couple stabs here on NVDA. We'll get into some of the top performing sectors here momentarily. And Bitcoin is really starting to tank. We were trading that earlier as well. So here you can see, guys, I was in, and I'm like, oh, no. Let me get out of this. But then I immediately was like, okay, I need to give these signals a little bit more space. So I was in here, and then I got out, and I'm like, no, Joe, let's hop right back in. So we get in, add to the position, and then you can see that we were holding 113 really well for an extended period of time. I'm like, what's going on here? So I take some out here, and then I eventually get all out. We have about just under 60,000 contracts between 113 and 114 open on the call side. So that can explain some of that defense. Now I'm like, okay, I got all out. Let's see if these get lifted. We're starting to form this ascending wedge, and if that volume steps into the top side, we can totally clear some of these key levels. But that wasn't the case here today, Sharif. We rejected, I entered, and I got right back out. So that one didn't work out too well for us. But what did was Bitcoin. Bitcoin traded really well. Same type of price action formation here, guys. And you can see that we have those higher lows with that resistance zone, but then we punch through it with that volume stepping in, and then we go out. So those are the only two names that I have traded this far this morning.
All right, guys, we realize the position board is down. The Chilean Nightmare is already on the job. Fabian is taking care of it. As soon as it's back up, you'll obviously be able to tell. For now, we'll apprise you of what our positions are. I can apprise you of mine. I've got none. But here's what I'm looking at. We've got 8 great small cap gappers to discuss today, with the top crazy one right now being bull. There you go. So you see the big kahuna's positions. We'll switch to ours in a second. Neil is still short Intel, and Sean's along everything in the market. And I'm kidding, of course. He's long whatever it says there. So BULL. So this is Webull. This de-SPAC'd on Friday, I believe. We didn't really have too much coverage on it because it was like the SPAC that no one knew about, nor did it really run in the regular trading hours. It seemed to have run in the aftermarket on Friday, so we didn't have coverage of that. In any event, it's up 230% today, well off the highs. It's about $12 offset highs, but it's come into a key area of technical support. The volume weighted average price, or close to coming. So VWAP right now currently at around $41, give or take, and that $41 level interests me for more than the fact that it is the volume weighted average price. Look at that 4:20 a.m. spike, albeit on lighter volume, into about $41. So not only is it the volume weighted average price, which is a key area of what could be technical support, we also have price action support, but again, albeit on lighter volume. So BULL, $41 does interest me, but I got to tell you, the spread is prohibitive on BULL. So if you're going to trade it, make sure you know what the hell you're doing so that you don't get blown up and then say that we were talking about stocks that we shouldn't have been talking about. No, you shouldn't be trading things you don't know how to trade. So make sure you know what you're doing there. WTF, I'm 0 for 2 on this one. I was able to scalp multiple ones, but this one kind of very similar to Bull in the sense that it is awfully spready for a $7 name. So you're getting cut up just based on stop placement. So for example, I had my stop below VWAP. It respected VWAP on a closing basis, but not a wick basis. So that stopped me out. So I am technically 0 for 2 on this bad boy, but very small losses. Hopefully we'll do a little bit better. USAR. This is a good looking one, man. I mean, I don't really want to base too much on VWAP because it's showing you its propensity to wick below VWAP, despite the fact the closing prints are all above VWAP. But what keeps me really interested here is the umpteen amount of higher lows. Every successive candle, wick, close, or otherwise, higher lows than its predecessor. So good look here. What we could see is a big boy break through that $12 area. It looks like it's really struggled with 11.5, 12. I'm talking about USAR up 38.33%. Let me know if you need to interrupt me, by the way, because I've got more to talk about here.
Yeah, no, continue, brother.
MTSR. So this one's a bit of a slower trade. It's also shown, some inconsistency here about the levels that it respects. Sometimes it will respect VWAP, sometimes it won't. So what I'm worried about here on MTSR is a possible double top into 19.5, and then these lower highs, what could be a flat bottom break through that 18.5, 18 1/3, 18 1/4, somewhere in around there. You're getting a lot of lower highs with a whole bunch of selling at 19.5. It's not a bad look, but keep your eye on that volume weighted average price. USAR is breaking out there. MPHSAI, SDGR, and THTX will be discussed when we get back from Madeira.
Just be aware here, this stream we're starting the Associated Press, Donald Trump, President of the United States, set to hold bilateral talks with the President of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele. We can never know if these things are going to be market moving, but a lot of times during the Q&A portions, Donald Trump will often be asked about tariffs or other things that could and sometimes do move the market. So be aware, Donald Trump, 11 a.m. here, set to hold these bilateral talks with the President of El Salvador. If I hear anything of note from this stream, I will let you know promptly. Back to you.
Thank you for that. Anything else you want to cover? All right, continue, bro.
Nayib Bukele is obviously a very noted crypto bull. He's also housing a lot of the prisoners that Donald Trump is sending to his country. So lots to talk about between the two there. Let's continue on with the small cap gappers that we got. MP, big boy mover. Great look for this one today, up almost 25%, trading at the highs. Very respectful, Joseph, of the 10 exponential moving average. Just a perfunctory break below it over here. It held support quite well at around 27, and now it's knocking the door of 28 1/4. So keep your eye out on that. HSAI, a bit of a slower mover and definitely a smaller percentage winner on the day. At VWAP, we're a little bit above, about 10 pennies above VWAP right now. This looks like it could be a head and shoulders pattern with some lower highs and what we could see as a flat top break. Last but not least, SDGR. Again, not a big percentage winner in the sense that it's only up 9%, but very respectful of the trend and putting in aggressively higher highs and higher lows. So we'll see if we can weasel something in on one of these 8, Joseph.
All right, there you go. So, guys, we're in 2 names right now. The reason why you don't see it, I haven't taken any fills on them. I want to see if they come into play. But you can see, if we pull up my chart here, that this trend on IBIT, Bitcoin itself was relatively strong. So we waited for this pullback, and then we have some indecision here. I'm starting really small, and I'll add to it. But if we break 48 and some of these support levels, then I'm going to get out. But I'm looking for a continuation of this move here, guys. We were up closer to about 2% at the highs, and now giving some of that back. So let's see if these can come into play and hold as some key support levels. And then we're also in the TQs as well. Same price action formation being printed here, guys. Some nice indecisions on those lower time frames. And that's why we decided to take a 1-minute trade here on this 1-minute chart. Sorry. So let's see if these levels can hold up. Starting small again, because in these volatile markets, you need to give that the trade a little bit more room. You need to give the underlying more room to breathe because of the ebbs and flows of the price action. So let's see if these key levels come into play. I mentioned that hefty call wall on NVDA at between 113 and 114. That can give us some overhead. So it's not looking too good right now, but be patient. Let's see if these signals come into play. If they crack, then there might be some more downside here in the market. But you can see that we got these nice pops here, guys. Let's see if they can hold up. I'm going to pull up Bitcoin to see what we have from an open interest standpoint. So that will have to use IBIT, and it'll still give us a general idea. So 46,000 at 50 during this expiration cycle. Okay, and then 43,000 at 48. Okay, so that's very interesting. So that's April 17th expiry, and we are trading right around there, so we can't break 48. Let's see if it can come in as support here, Sharif. There is 27,000 on the put side as well, too, so we might get some chop. Smaller size, wider stop. I think that's going to be the name of the game if you're looking for some of these longs here in the market, Sharif.
All right, man, we're back into what the frig, and we'll see if we can get something on this one. It's been putting in higher highs and higher lows, but look, I was able to scalp several off this one, but it keeps losing the bid. What's getting me excited about it again is the fact that it's putting in 3 higher lows in a row. Let's see if we can continue on our merry way above that 1812 area. I'm going to look to defend this into 8 and likely into the volume weighted average price. I'm going to take small size so that if it does dip in aggressively, which it already has on the multiple occasions, I'm not getting cut up too aggressively there. Bro, I'm doing these mistakes that drove me nuts. I meant to add and I took out the entire position. All right, let's get back in. You can show my screen, it's fine. Okay, so we'll keep looking at this one over here. Definitely gonna get back into this one. Just made a bit of a mistake. Fat finger mistake on this, but we'll get right back in. So I'm going to look to get in at 8. Let's see if we can get in there. It's not having me there. All right, that's fine. Also looking at a dip trade here on MTSR for volume weighted average price dip. It's coming into my area, but it's definitely not filling me. So I'll keep my patience packed on that one. I was able to get right back in, actually at a better price, believe it or not. So we'll look to take out some positions or some scalps on that one, and I'll layer my orders on WTF. We're already getting prints already, so happy about this one. Definitely looking at defending, again, into the volume weighted average price. It's a spready name, but it's got a consistent pattern. So let's go ahead and throw some orders now that I've, yeah, exactly. So now that I'm doing it the right way, we won't mess up too much over here, Joseph.
Yeah, guys, so it's looking like the market wants to break down a little bit here. So we're going to hop out of this TQs and the IBIT trade. But again, we had a nice trade earlier on it today. Just started getting the continuation. You can see we're starting to run into some of these pre-market and earlier drive lows. So that's not a positive signal. Also, that primary uptrend has now been broken to the downside. So there we go. Not the best. And the thing is, I mentioned this and I'll mention throughout the day, until that size gets lifted at 114, 113, then we're going to be struggling to get through some of those levels. I noticed that I have you joined against it. No, I have not, JG. I've always had that one. But yeah, I mean, so again, wider stop. let the price action play out. We're going to fluctuate more. So maybe I will hold on to it until that primary trend snaps. Then I guess I'll be okay. But so this is a really, really bad bearish pattern, I would call it, but we got some more indecision. So that can be somewhat positive, just thinking out loud, And then here we go. Same thing with TQs. We're running into these support levels. If they crack and then head towards this low of the day, then we might be in some trouble here on this trade. Good thing we're starting really small, but with the likes of Amazon and NVDA looking like they want to continue to climb lower, that's not a positive sign. Google was really strong as well this morning, now going south of the volume weighted average price. So that's something to pay attention to, right? So you can see that the trend has now been broken and we're on the back side of it. So wait for this retest of it. If we fail to make a new high, or even if buyers fail to step in, then you can maybe see that momentum continue to the downside there, Sharif. I'm going to be a little bit more patient, hold on to these a little bit longer, but that's why I mentioned starting small, giving yourself some more room, and if they start to work out, you can then start to build in and add at full size there.
Yes, sir. Sorry about this, guys. We do have a problem with the position board. The production team is taking care of it right now as we speak, so hopefully it won't be too much longer. All right, we're back into WTF, looking to scalp into 8. Onto the high side, just want to put my stop onto this one, so we're going to go ahead and put it below that 60 penny area, and I'll give it down to 7.5. So that's what we're doing there. So we'll look to scalp at 8, and then I'll look to take out a little bit more above that level. It's putting in, you know, a decent amount of respect for VWAP, but it's not the best looking chart, not going to lie. This is the one that I'm disappointed that I didn't get the ad over here. MTSR, not MSTR, MTSR, up 32.5%. It's kind of curling off the volume weighted average price, but much like a lot of these small cap gappers today, it's awfully spready. So be careful with it. It's also not giving you that parabolic move up. MP is continuing to go here, and I don't have anything on it. So is USAR. Fantastic look here by USAR. Let's load that up on a trading screen if you'll allow me a second. USAR, I think it's on the NQ, it is, and it's got a tighter spread on this one too, so only about 2 pennies. It's really close to the day high. I'm talking about that 1231 high of day on USAR. It's up almost 50%. We're knocking the door here of 47. We're about to take out 47%. So let's see if it wants to dip down into 12 and have me there. It looks like it wants to break out, but if it is to be met with some resistance, maybe I can get something around that $12 area. I'm trying to front run it by a couple of shekels. USAR is the ticker I'm talking about. Trading at 12.14, 12.18, depending on whether you're looking at the bid or the ask. Now the bid is at my level, 12.05. That's where I'm sitting. But now the spread's opened up. So I just finished singing this one's praise that it wasn't as spready as some of these other small cap gappers today. And then the spread opens up a little aggressively as we get a little illiquid towards that $12 area. So it's not really letting me in at 12.05, and it does look like it's going to take out the high of the day without me, despite the fact that my bid or my offer, my bid was sitting at the bid at 12.05, but it does look like it's going to go here. Still zigging and zagging at around that 12 and a fifth. So MP really breaking out. So is MTSR. We've got WTF. Position board is down again, so it's obviously having some issues. We'll keep you guys apprised about our positions. You can always ask us if you'd like to know what Joseph and I are doing, where we're long, what price we've got, etc. Just ask us, and we'd be more than willing to help you or to let you guys know.
For sure. Yeah, guys, so good question there, Skull. Like, where's my stop loss? I think at the low of day, that's where I'm going to get out of here. That will be for sure wrong, and that's what we need to give it to here in the heightened volatility market. Right. So a little bit more patient, but IBIT starting to work out for us a little bit here, guys. Looking pretty good. If we can crack and hold the volume-weighted average price, then I will add to this position. I should have had literally 10 times the amount of shares that I had here when we took this move up, because it was a beautiful price compression pattern. You have that overhead resistance and then those consistent higher lows, and then you crack it and then don't even retest the zone and continue to the top side. So really good look there. Let's see what Google's up to here, guys. NVDA looking like it wants to go and test the lows as well. So just keeping an eye on some of the bigger names. And here we go. We haven't retested the back end of this trend. Let's see if we're going to get a move up here. Hold view up. You get that elastic effect in here. But what is dragging us down? I believe, is this. So stocks want to follow the path of least resistance at the end of the day. And we have a lot here at 113, 114. And that's why you can see we have that this high of 113 exactly. That's where that resistance zone is. And then now we can't crack through it. And we have the inability to even come back and test the volume weighted average price. So we're on the backside of this trend. The price compression going to the downside. Let's see if buyers can step in. One thing I would look for is this low to hold. And if you can construct a higher low on these 5-minute time frames, then that can be a positive to try and catch the top end of this range. We're going to focus on what has been working for us, and that's Bitcoin. Oh, let's go back. Yeah, exactly. Mr. Saylor buying some more. So looking good on that front. I mentioned earlier, if we hold 48.20, if we break through, you see the volume on the lower time frame start to pick up, and we come back and retest these areas, then we can add to this position. That's going to give us confirmation, hey, the thesis is working, it's panning out. Now we can try to size in and make it as big as we want to and get slightly uncomfortable. But the thing is, we start really small, give that wider stop, because in heightened volatility, you can catch those wicks and those fake outs, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Start small and then build into size once the trade starts working there, Shreve.
All right, I put a dip trade here on MP at the 10 exponential, because the 10 exponential looks like it's overlapping a little bit with price action support. I'm talking about that candle, that topping tail candle that manifested on the 5-minute at 10:10 a.m. So that's what I'm looking at there as a possible area of price action support. So that's what I'll be looking at getting into if it does allow me. I'm also looking at getting into USAR now that it's dipped aggressively into $12. So this is losing the bid a little bit over here after topping tail at $12.65. Big move up, big move down, excuse me, over here. So I'm going to look to take this long. Where are we long over here? I'll tell you I got 1203s. So I'm going to sit at 10s for a fill, and then we'll load up at different levels. I'll sit at 18s, see if we can get that, and then at 25s as well. USAR, dip trade on USAR. I'm long at 3s. I'm interested in defending into the 10 exponential moving average, which is 1175. All right, we got a fill there as it popped up into 17s. Still haven't filled my my order a little bit higher than that, but I do plan on adding to this one if it does dip down below the $12 area into 1175. So let's go ahead and sit at the lower end of the range over here. So this is where I'm going to sit right over here. And we'll look to take some profit, or get a dip trade if it does dip into that level there. So USAR involved in that trade. We've got currently 1203s with a beak wider above that $10 area, but definitely looking at adding. Let's go look at MP, because MP is coming really close to my entry. So I'm looking at getting in at the 10 exponential moving average, and I've got it at 75s. It's not letting me in at 75s, and now it's moving without me yet again. No way, bro. Come on now, let's go, come down. I don't want to have to chase this one. I will take a smaller position here, and I will leave my ad at there. So what did I get on MP? I got 96s, so let's go ahead and look to take profits out if it does move above that whole dollar. I will still leave my order active at the dip trade at the 10 exponential. So that's what I'm looking at there on MP, USAR, and WTF, Joseph.
All right, nice look there, brother. So guys, let's take a look at some of these top performing sectors here this morning, and all of them in the green so far. So real estate at the top of its class, up 2% here on the day. Tech sector sitting in second, up about 1.7% there, guys, and utilities up about 1.6%. Now let's go from third last to last here. Healthcare up about 1.14%. Energy 0.6 there, and consumer discretionary up about 0.4. So that's a good positive sign. Everything green, helping that gap up, help regards to that gap up that is. But again, let's see what we got going on. I didn't love the price action here on IBIT. We didn't hold the volume weighted average price. We rejected it quite fiercely. So I'm like, that's not the ideal ad. You have to be a little bit more patient. But one thing that I am slightly worried about here, guys, is this TQs as we continue to bleed. I'm glad that we're going really, really small to start. But as soon as we crack 110, you don't want to go right at that specific level, so slightly below it. If we crack and go towards 50, then we have to get out of this trade. We don't want to hold on to it any longer. You can see that we just, we had that primary trend, or sorry, that opening drive was really weak. We just kind of rallied back, construct a lower high, and then now going to test the low a day. So that would just signal there is some bearish sentiment right now. And I thought the news from NVDA was going to be more positive and we would see some more strength within this name, but I don't know if that's the case. And I don't want to eat my words too quick here, but
I feel that.
Pardon me?
I feel that.
Oh, yeah, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's holding here as the market continues to move lower here, Sharif. I mean, Amazon is starting to approach those lows. Apple is, I think, the weaker one here, down to 204 on the day. But we're not breaking down and we're not testing these lows here on NVDA. So that could be a positive sign. But if it decides it wants to break down, I believe it's going to just drag the overall market with it. And that's what it seems to be the case. We're starting to head towards that low, and it looked like we might crack with some of this momentum. So we have to get out of this trade as soon as we hit that 50. We don't want to hold on to this any longer. And if those turnaround signals do display themselves, maybe we'll look for something to continue. But here we go.
Oh,
we might get stopped out. Okay,
Bull's
go on.
breaking out. Bull's breaking out. So we're $3 in the money here on Bull, guys. Okay, careful. Bull's really going, guys. So careful. Just took out the highs. 55.14. I've got 50.80. It's at 53s right now. Be careful with Bull. Big boy breakout. 55.14s, Joseph. Just I want to mention that because it broke out. You can go ahead.
No, yeah, continue. I'll cover what I got going on. Bull does look strong, so I just pulled it up on my chart here. So maybe we'll look to get involved for that high day break, but there you go.
Yep.
We got to get out of this TQs trade here, guys. We just broke that low a day, so not a good sign on that one. We don't want to get too big of a loss, so start small. Take a little haircut there, no problem, because we're still sitting in this Bitcoin, and we had the earlier trade on IBIT as well, too. That was working out for us. If we crack that, then we got to reassess the situation and possibly look for another trade, because it looks like the bears are taking full control of this session.
Yeah, Bull's really flying here. We're $4 in the money. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go, baby. Now I'm waiting at 55.25. You know why I'm waiting at 25s, baby. All right, so we're waiting over here. 55.14 is the high a day. So I'm waiting at 55.25. This necessitates a high a day break. We're literally at $55 as we speak. There's huge size here at 55, blocking that obviously. And so I will take it out there at 55s. I'm happy with this trade. I could have done a little bit better, not gonna lie, but this one, very, very aggressive breakout there. I caught the move when it came into that $50 level. That was my look. I knew that $50 was gonna be a psychological area of resistance, even if there hadn't been too much price action resistance at that level. And so that's why I punched in there, and I'm happy I did it that way. We'll look to do a little bit better, guys, if it can take out the high of the day. I appreciate you, Joseph. This one, not doing so well, though. WTF, kind of give a foreshadowing what the name means here, because this one is breaking down from the volume weighted average price, and that's going to be the end of that trade. So we'll take an L on that one. MP. So I finally got my dip trade there into the 10 exponential moving average on the 5, and now we're break even on this trade. So let's go ahead and set up some beak wetters on this one. So if it does move up, we can extract some profitability. My thinking here was to defend the 10 exponential where there was also price action support owing to this area crest that we had initially at 10 a.m. So that just got the add there into the low 70s. We'll see if this one wants to continue moving back up. It's been very strong on the day, but it's going to have to continue that way. USAR, I haven't had any prints on this one. This is a break-even trade. I didn't get any fills to the downside, nor have I gotten any beak wetters to the top side. So USAR, make up your freaking mind over here so we can figure out how we want to trade you. But yeah, interesting morning to say the least. Bull is a dang rocket ship, baby. And I think it has a perfect ticker if you're going long. Like, I mean, come on, right? Like, it's a good one.
Oh, God. Okay, Sharif, hold on.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
NVDA is absolutely tanking here, guys. Ooh. Now down to 111, cracking through the low day, dragging the Qs with it. Good. Not a good look there in NVDA. You can see it. I got to get rid of some of these dark pools so you can see it a little bit more clear. But there we go, breaking through some of these key support levels, and that momentum to the downside really starting to pick up. I wanted to show you guys this earlier. I took a screenshot of it, because I'm like, oh, okay, if we break through, this is a perfect signal so that we have the ability to identify certain things. I can't pull it up here, which is slightly frustrating. Maybe maybe you guys can see it. But what I was referring to was the imbalance on the L2. And that was when we were running right into 113. And I'm like, okay, if we break through it and those orders hold, then that momentum can break us through some of those key resistance zones. And then we can go to that next stage, that next level that we were looking for. But it failed. And there was a lot more aggression here on the ask, but it just never broke. The more volume needed to step in, and we didn't get that. So that's unfortunate, but I wanted to display that to you guys because that's what I'm looking for. And that's why I have quote highlights on my level too, is because you can see the imbalance, and that can help you identify strength on either side of the book. So that's why we take a look at those things. It's the exact as the call and put wall. It's why I look at the calls. That's why I look at high levels of open interest. What is it telling it? On Friday, we had a nice short at Apple. I'm like, I don't know if we're going to go above 220. Short at 220, we don't crack it. You get a little bit of a move there. Same thing here with NVDA. I was looking long, identified those high levels of open interest on the options chain, and then that's what made me get out of the trade. It's like, we are not going to break. And now look at it here, Sharif. We are now at the low of the day here in NVDA and in the markets, guys.
Joseph, we taking out highs, baby. US freaking R. I don't know why I've been doing that, man. It's the Austin Power thing.
I got you on it, man.
Bro,
yeah, I got you on the old AAPL.
You're gonna start making me go.
When was the last time you seen it? No, it's like
that is Joseph's thing right there, bro. I love it. No, seriously though, USAR, baby. We are taking out the levels. Where do we have? We got 03s, I believe. We're at 50s right now. I just wet the beak at 45s, and now I'm waiting at the high of dang day. In fact, I'm waiting higher than the high of the day. I'm waiting at 1269er, and the high of the day is 65er. So that's what we're looking at right now. Joseph, hopefully we can do a little bit better on that one. MP, I'm also looking at wetting the beak here at 88. Come on, bro, just cross, man. You always have to make me wait and sweat like this. All right, we're also long MP. This is a 10 exponential on the 5 pullback. On MP, I've got 82s. It's showing me 86s. It's not giving me the fills, but guess who? Your boy is back in bull. I've got 50 88s, and here we go. We're at 54s again here on bull, baby. Let's go. All right,
we can break here.
Say?
I might hop in.
All right. I like it. Here we go, Joseph. Here we go, baby. 54s and a half on BULL.
Break the high. Break the high.
I want the break of the high. Joseph wants the break of the high. We both want the break of the dang high. Let's go, baby. We're up over 300%, and we're doing it live. Looking to take out that 55.14 high day. It's been a hard road to hoe today, let me tell you, because there's a whole bunch of selling at 55, and there has been, Joseph, for a hot minute. So we'll continue to watch and see how we can take out this level. Here we go.
Let's go.
We take out the high, my boy. We're spending the money on this one, bro.
Get out of that. Bro, we just took $3 both, just like that. That's crazy.
Look at this thing go! Oh my goodness!
I can't catch any.
Oh my goodness! Look at this thing go! All right, we're having a good time. Can you tell we're having a good time? Yeah, we're having a great time, baby.
Bro, $3 just like that? That was insane.
Oh man, I'm crazy. I'm crazy. All right, we're having a good time, guys.
Are you still in it?
No, bro.
Why?
Because I only have a certain amount of shares. What do you want me to do, bro? All right, baby. All right, guys. We're doing it live, baby. We are actually doing it freaking live. Oh, we got the fill too on your boy MSTR, and we're nicely in the money. What happened,
all right,
man?
pull up my screen here. Pull up my screen here, guys. We're still sitting in this bull IPO. Let's go here. 54 and change. We just took a $3 pop. I'm like, Sharif, he's in it. I'm like, okay, I like this price action. We might get that ABCD print here, and we got it right in at the right time. We're doing it live here. You've seen what Sharif said. We get in at the exact moment where we see that break in. We can lose a cut. We can lose.
Darwin's killing me, bro. He always says the funniest.
What's Darwin saying?
He's just an OG. He just knows exactly what to say. It's all inside jokes, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, I got a lot going on here.
Okay. You want me to cover it?
No, we're good. We'll take out this last out when it's time. Let's go back to IBIT. Let's see if we can crack into 60 here on Webull. If you're going bullish, Sharif said, why not on anything else other than Webull? Here we go.
Baby.
BULL continuing to climb. Might even add into this IBIT position if we break through the resistance here, Sharif. We're really starting to get this day home.
All right, Joseph. I love hearing it, man. These good vibes all around here. We're long on USAR, guys. I'm waiting at 69er. It just came up to 60, Joseph. Rejected 60. I'm talking about USAR. You good?
I got all out by accident.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. No. You did it to me. Go ahead.
Devin hands, man. Devin Haney.
Misery loves company, my man.
That's crazy.
I'm playing.
Good call out there, though. On that bull. Here, we'll show them one more time. A nice breakout. We were talking about the break of the high day there, Sharif.
Yes,
and
sir.
we played it perfectly. That momentum to the top side looked really, really good there. So even adding to the day, nice move there on Weeble. But dude, we took $3. Sorry, we took $3 in a span of 30 seconds or less. So really nice trade all the way almost up to 60. We were in at 54, and then we got our last out around 59. So there we go. Nice pop there. You can see that volume step in aggressively there on BULL, Sharif.
I like that. I like aggressive stepping.
Yes.
That's a good look there, Joseph. Shout out to you, my man. Shout out to Elon Musk. I love that name, man. That always makes me chuckle anytime I see it in the chat. All right, guys. USAR failed the high of the day break. So now I'm holding 03s, and this one weaseled up into 60s, and it was met with very aggressive selling. So now that is 2 times USAR has tried to take out 1260 on a closing basis, and that's 2 rejections now. That's the bad side of the equation. The good side of the equation is it's continuing to put in those higher lows. And why does that matter to me? Well, it matters to me because it gives me an idea of who's in control of the stock. Is it the bears or the bulls? The buyers or the sellers if you're a newer trader? So this one is continuing to kind of put in incrementally higher lows, meaning that buyers are picking it up at higher and higher levels on every successive descent. So that's my thinking right now, and I don't want to be too quick to take it out. But what I want to take out are the dip trades that I believe are no longer valid. You can see them hanging out there at 1186s. So we're going to go ahead and cancel both our buy orders on USAR so we don't get inadvertently into a trade we don't want to be. But MP is starting to peeve me, okay? Now I've moved up my stop on MP into an area that I think is sound, and it's based on price action area, not how much I can stomach in terms of a loss. We all know how that works when you place your stops there. It doesn't work good, in case you're wondering. So what I'm looking for here is this general area at around 12.5 to 27.5 to 27 2/3 to hold. The reason I'm looking at that general area is that's what I perceive to be initial price action resistance. Now, sometimes, not all the time, but when you move up past the resistance level, it then acts as support on a later downturn. Whether that happens here on MP is beyond my control, but it's already breaking down below the 10 exponential, not on a closing basis, but on a wick basis. So where's my stop at on MP? Let me have a look over here. Where's it at? Show yourself, Mr. MP. Okay. We are right over here. Yeah, so we're going to get stopped out if anything below 50. That is where my level is. We're already out of the money on it, man. More than a couple of pennies. Let's just be honest about it. It's about 15 pennies out of the money right now. It's going to have to hold this 27.50, or we're going to get stopped out on this one. Going to keep my eye out on it. I'm still interested in more fills here on my friend MSTR, and we got a couple of more fills on this one, but it's not really MTSR, excuse me, not MSTR, MTSR. So this one is already breaking down. We're going to have to take an L here, sadly, on MP. So we'll wet the beak there for one out, but we ended up getting stopped out for the majority of the position. So we will take an L on MP. Now, I don't mind trading this one again. It's up 21%. It had a respectable pattern to start the day, still putting in technically higher lows. Let me just have a look over here. This is the one I'm talking about. And, you know, if I draw an aggressive trend line, then it's technically broken trend. What I like, though, about this is that this low, this area low, is higher than this area low. So it doesn't mean I'm just going to buy it blindly at any point between here and this $27 area. I'm going to look for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. That's how I can kind of try to gauge whether the trend has changed on it or not. So that's my look right now. I'm long MTSR, I'm long USAR, but they're both smaller trades. The larger trade on USAR is done. Bull is done as well. So we will look to get in something new, Joseph, if one is warranted.
Nice, yeah, good look there, guys. We got out of this Bitcoin trade here, so we'll go 1 for 2 on that one. Still keeping us slightly, we're still positive on the day, but there we go. We took a small haircut on this one, and that momentum really starting to pick up. You can see this puts in a head and shoulder pattern, and then once that neckline's broken, you just continue to the downside. So shoulder 1, head, and then shoulder 2. It's more like another swear word towards me, it looks like there on that one. But here we go, guys. Market continuing to bleed. NVDA, glad we got out of that long. We couldn't break through that heavy resistance at 113, 114. That was acting as the volume weighted average price. So see you later. NVDA was positive on the day. Now filling that gap up. Now negative 0.5%, guys. So there you go. Bear market, some people are saying in the chat. It's looking like it because those pops are continuously getting faded here, Sharif, and we can't find a bottom here in the market as we continue to bleed here in the TQs.
Oh, yeah.
This is crazy. Okay, but still, now the Qs are negative because this is 3x leverage. So we're starting to knock on the door of negatory land here, Sharif, as you like to say, to the downside. So here we go. But man, what a great call out on Hood. I'm glad that you were trading that one. It led us to it, and that's why we're in the game. When you take a $3 pop just like that can hold you green for quite some time. We're going to be patient, wait for those indecision prints to come in and around these lows. And if we find a bottom here in the market, then we'll look to take advantage of it. Let me pull up the options chain to see what the Qs is telling us. And if we have anything on the put side, then maybe we can start to look for a base around those specific strikes, all right? So let's see what we got going on, guys, for this week's expiration cycle. That is going to be April 17th, 455. What are we trading at right now? I hate how it doesn't tell me the exact price. Okay, so yeah, what are we at? 455.68. And then a nice indecision print right here, guys. Gonna look for this level to hold. 455 on the put side, 25,000 open contracts. So that could come in as some key support levels. The next highest level is gonna put us at 450, and we don't wanna go down that low today, Sharif.
All right, man. We got stopped out of the remaining amount, which was only one out left on USAR. And I feel bad about this one because I put it a little bit higher than I would have wanted it, and I just want to lock in profit. So I was long all threes. I put my stop at 11.98, so we lost 5 cents on the last remaining amount. It probably wasn't the most aggressive move here, especially if you're trading these small cap gappers. You usually are pretty aggressive. But what I'll do is I'll become more aggressive on a pullback into a key technical area of support. What I'm thinking here is 1160 to 1150. There's a couple of reasons for that. Let me make my case before we go to Adara. So USAR has been quite strong. It's up 42%. I like this area here at 1150 for price action support, formerly resistance. You can see the topping tail candles all go into that 11.5, 1175, all met with aggressive selling. If that level doesn't hold, I'm not going to be a buyer there on a dip trade. I'll observe to see whether it finds support there. And then if that area doesn't hold, I'm looking at 11.25 because that's where VWAP is. Adara.
We're here, Donald Trump, President of the United States, currently talking here to Nayib Bukele, that is the President of El Salvador. Again, nothing super market moving has been said as of yet, but just be aware these two are talking. And if any questions come up here with regards to tariffs or anything else that would be of note for the public, I will let you know here. Again, right now just sounds like general remarks, but if there is anything asked of Donald Trump, I will let you guys know if it's market moving. Back to you.
What's he doing now, bro? What's your friend Donald doing?
I don't know what Donald's doing, but I like the TQs here. Maybe we take one more stab here on the TQs and sit on that one. Sharif said, He said there's another long here on bull.
Who?
Looks like we might. Who said that? He said that. Let's see, man. I kind of like this 5 minute. Are you looking at it on the 5 or the 1 here?
Okay. I love how I told him 2 seconds earlier. I'm like, Joseph, bull's another long.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right, guys, here's what I see, Joseph. I see a whole bunch of defending in and around this area. Look at this area over here. Reject. initially, reject initially.
Holding the
low
base.
and frickin' behold, look where we're wicking off.
Yeah.
Previous area support, despite the fact that we took it out over here, look how quick we dropped though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say, that I feel possibly 52 could be a good dip trade. That's my thinking here.
Yeah, I see,
on
I see what
BULL.
you're getting at here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the 3-bar play, you could get that 3-bar
There you
play.
go.
Let's see where this opens up. We didn't get that push up here, guys. Going to be a little bit more patient and hold to it. So that is a lower high, but there is a bunch of bottoming signals across the board on the cues as well. But I like this 5-minute print here on. Shreve's got eyes on bull. If it decides it wants to get going,
looks like
what
it's
we
going.
need. Oh, there it is, guys.
It's going,
focus on the
Joseph.
tape. Focus on the tape here.
Yeah.
Focus on the tape. Let's see what we got going on. If you see those sellers starting to lift the ask, then maybe you can get that momentum to step in and continue to move. So wait for those flushes at and above the ask, and that will really tell us that we're going to start to climb. Nice push there. Nice push there. Ooh, there we go. And you get that pop, guys. That's why the tape is so important. Good call out there, Shreve. We might even go and test the high day if we can get those continuous higher sellers right there, man.
What a beautiful move up by Bull, B-U-L-L. Do we have Webull in this country?
Yeah.
Anybody know?
Yeah,
we got it,
yeah,
right?
we got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
got
got
it. I can
Webull
remember
large.
seeing them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't know what Webull is, guys, it's kind of like a Robin Hood. If you're in Canada, very simple to wealth. Simple, for example, it's like an app-based, investing, trading platform. They've been around for a while. I mean, they got options recently as well. I remember they were advertising that. Obviously, crypto's involved there as well. So Webull, that's all that it is, guys. It's kind of very similar to Robinhood. Similar, I saw some comparisons this morning to SoFi, even though I don't really think of it as much of a SoFi play. Some comparisons to Coinbase as well, given the fact that you can buy crypto on it. So that's what we're talking about here. BULL is the ticker. It's up 320%. It's at this $56 area. The high of the day right now on Bull is $59.46. Okay, so essentially $59.50. Adara is at the big desk with breaking news.
Wow.
We have, keep an eye here on some of these luxury names here. I have Estee Lauder up, seeing that apparently Q1 fashion and leather organic sales for LVMH in Europe was down 5% year over year. They were expecting a decrease here of about 0.55%. So we have LVMH Q1 leather and fashion sales declining much more than expected on a year over year basis. EL dropping here on sympathy. Back to you.
Cover something quick and I'll send it.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So guys, this is what I'm thinking. Let me actually fix these dark pools here for you, and I'm going to stop leaning forward because that's actually starting to annoy me too. And there we go. Okay, anyways, that's not what we wanted. So what I was looking at here, guys, we'll zoom out a little bit. So you can see that we were forming these higher lows, but then we have this resistance zone. So essentially what I want us to focus on is, look what happens immediately when we come to the backside of this trend. We get no retest, and then we continue to the downside, and eventually that momentum really starts to pick up. So you have that kind of that bull flag or bear flag type price action. You have the opening drive extremely weak. You consolidate within this range. Price starts to compress, and then you get that break to the downside. I was looking for the break to the top side, but sometimes you have to pay attention to the signals that the market is giving you. What's going on with the chain? Why are we continuously running into a specific resistance zone and not having the ability to break? It seems to be the answer right there. High levels of open interest at 113 all the way through to 114. You break it to the downside, the path of least resistance, Shreve.
All right, Dan the man, you got a great question there, brother, but I feel like by the nature of your question, you might be a newer trader, and forgive me if I'm inaccurate about that, but Dan's question is probably one that a lot of people have, so quite frankly, I want to answer it over here. And it reads as follows. Joseph, Sharif, is this market in a VWAP or are we beyond that? So I think, brother, I think you're misunderstanding what VWAP is. VWAP is the volume weighted average price, and it's exactly what it sounds like it is. So based on volume, what's the average price that we have today based on the amount of volume that's churned? And so I'll tell you something about my charts. When you're looking at these black charts that we've got on right now, there's one line that stands out from it's going to be the white line. That white line will always be VWAP on my on my black charts. And conversely, on the white charts, it'll always be the black line. So what we do is we compare the price based on this Japanese candlestick relative to where the white line is. So look where we are. We are literally at the low of the day. This is the NQ June contract. So this is the futures, the market, so to speak. We're at 18,829, okay? That's the current points that we're on the futures. Look at this. The volume weighted average price is at 19,093. So needless to say, we're about almost 300 points lower than the volume weighted average price on the NQ June contract. I hope that helps. So volume weighted average price, VWAP for short, is a line on usually your chart. It's obviously more than a line, but depicted as a line on your chart. And what you're doing is you're making price comparisons, whether it's on Apple as actual price or on the futures as a point, like the amount of points were up or down on the day relative to VWAP. I hope that helps, Dan, and kind of helps you follow along with us, because I know Neil, Sean, myself, Joseph, we're always using these acronyms, EMA, SMA, VWAP, this, that, HOD. And if you're a newer trader, you're probably wondering what the hell we're talking about. So I want to take that opportunity to mention what that is. And thank you for your question there, Dan.
Yes. All right, guys. Yeah, good stuff there. So thank you for that, Dan, and a great explanation at that. So yeah, feel free to ask anything, and you guys can obviously communicate amongst each other. Like, hey, what is this? And a lot of people will chime in. So that's why we stay constructive and positive there, guys. So there we go. I was talking about NVDA earlier, and you can see that we're forming that wedge, and then eventually we just break it to the downside.
Can I continue on?
Go ahead. Yeah, I need to take a drink of water.
Yeah. So Whole White Hill basically was asking. Great question by How White Hill. In addition, question Sharif. Oh, here we are. I'm keeping my eye on my trade here on MP because I looked like I might get stopped out. In addition, question Sharif. This VWAP is based on what time frame? Fantastic question. VWAP, the volume weighted average price, will be the same on all time frames. It's one of the few indicators, I should say, that actually appears the same on all time frames. For example, if I was to pull the 10 EMA up on the 5-minute chart relative to the 1-minute chart, you're going to have different EMAs. The 10 EMA on the 5 will not be at the same price level as it is on the 1. The volume weighted average price will be. Now, where there can be differences, sorry to keep you waiting, Adara, but I just want to finish this. Where there can be differences is where the VWAP starts. For example, Neil's on some of his platforms starts at around 6:30 or 6 a.m. On some of mine, it starts at 4. What does that mean? That means the data that started populating or collecting to generate that VWAP started earlier on mine, therefore it has more data points, therefore the price will be different. So where it can be different is where you anchor VWAP or where VWAP starts. But if it starts at the same time for you and for me, it will be the same. It should be anyway. Sorry to keep you waiting, Adair.
No worries. Just want to let you guys know here. Keep an eye on the market. Currently at day's lows here, we do have Donald Trump now taking questions during his meeting with El Salvadorian President Nayib Bukele. So keep an eye here on the market. President Trump and Bukele answering some questions here. Back to you.
Be the right one.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Adara.
Yeah, and that's what, so yeah, guys, whether you start, whatever time it starts, it will all equal to the same. So market opens 4 a.m., and that's when VWAP will start to print, right? So, okay, guys, let's see what we got going on. Have we put in a potential bottom? I don't know. The momentum to the downside is just so furious. You don't want to try to catch that falling knife here, guys. Even though I want to try to find the continuous long here on IBIT, it's more or less don't fight the trend and go with wherever it's telling you, and that's to the downside. You can see we had that head and shoulders type price action, break the neckline, and then we continue to the downside. And then we were going over NVDA and still continuing to bleed here on the session, guys. But if we do put in a bottom, we'll take a look at the lower time frames to see if that's displaying anything. But I don't see any definitive bottoming signals, and I think that's really important to note. I always keep an eye on the 1 and the 5. Those are my key time frames, and then I get used to being what's displayed and what's printed on them, and that helps me identify, hey, we might have put in a potential bottom. I do like this indecision around the lows here, guys, but is that volume enough to stop the momentum to the downside downside, and then you get that reversal back into the volume-weighted average price. I just believe there's too much overhead resistance in order for us to fully recover through this day. Unless people start closing contracts or they get lifted in some aspect, again, they don't expire till the end of the week, so they may be there. That may be the ceiling. We might not see 113, 114. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, because if NVIDIA likes to participate, it will drag the market higher. And if we can start to climb higher, you get some bullish sentiment under the name with today's catalyst, then I think we can start to recover. But right now, it doesn't really look like it, Sharif.
You know what's very strong and continuing to be strong, Joseph?
What?
Let's bring it in over here. Ooh. China. Yeah, Chinese ADRs awfully strong. Sorry, Neil. Chinese ADRs awfully strong on the day. Let's bring it in right just like that. There we go. Excuse me, I just want to keep it to the side like this. There we go. So you got BABA, 5 1/3, PDD, 5 1/2, Baidu, 3 1/4, JD.com, 4 2/3. And by the way, guys, something is happening on TikTok. And there is a concerted effort by Chinese social media influencers to kind of tell you how to buy stuff around or circumventing Alibaba, AliExpress, Temu Shein. They're giving you all these Chinese websites that you can go directly. And it's not just one guy doing it or two. There's a whole bunch of people doing it. Who's noticed this on TikTok? If you guys have seen that in the chat, I'd really like to know, because I personally have been seeing tons of them. There is an obvious concerted effort by them. It seems to be centrally organized. At least that's my speculation. I've got no proof, obviously, but something is happening, baby, on TikTok where they're trying to get you to buy from them directly, and they're telling you how to circumvent tariffs. They're telling you all these different, yeah, bro. They're telling you all these different strategies. They're like, use this website, and then this website does this, and then anyway, it's a whole thing. I'm not going to go into the whole strategy now, but there is clearly a response. What feels to be an organized response by the Chinese government vis-a-vis their social media influencers to kind of, move the ball, so to speak.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. I would, if I'm the States, I love shut it down immediately.
What?
I would shut it down immediately.
Yeah, well, Joseph, it's like a game of cat and mouse, bro. Absolutely. Right? Like, I mean, you do something, I respond. You respond, I do something again. It's just the way it is, right?
Wait.
Go ahead.
We have 100 million of your users that we have on our platform here, but we can influence them vastly more.
I'm not going to argue with that. I've already agreed with you 1,000% on that. The fact that they don't let in American social media companies, but they want theirs over here, speaks volumes. I get that. I'm not even arguing that, Joseph. What I'm arguing, or what I'm saying, is what is happening IRL, and this is what's happening.
Sure. You know,
right?
exactly. But I'm just saying, from China's perspective, it's like, okay, tariffs, no problem. We can influence your people on mass, no problem. Everybody's on TikTok.
Dude, can I say something to you? Like the TikTok app that you and I know, you don't know, but because you don't give a crap about it, but the one that I know is fundamentally different than the one they have there. It's not the same thing. So the fact that they're organizing and posting this on the North America or the world TikTok, this is organized, Joseph, and I won't be convinced differently.
Yeah, I agree with
That's
you.
just my feeling there. Shout out to Nicole Harris. China said, we come there and shop. We don't need a visa, and they will give us 13% discounts. Another response. I didn't know that, Nicole. Thank you for pointing that out. Looks like they're going to respond here, guys. I mean, they're not going to take these tariffs sitting down and just be like, oh, okay, we lost the biggest market in the world. Not a big deal. We'll fill it somewhere else. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Volky. They are playing whack-a-mole. Agreed, my friend. Stomp out one, and another pops up. You're absolutely right. That's kind of what I meant when I was saying to Joseph, a game of cat and mouse. But something is afoot, especially this weekend. There's one guy, too, who's showing you all these designer bags that are being made by Louis, being made by some of the other bigger brands, and he's showing you the techniques that the Chinese artisans are using. And he's got everything except the logo. It literally is the entire bag except the logo, and his position is that the bag is entirely manufactured in China. It's then sent to Italy or France, where a couple of minor adjustments like logo placement, maybe a couple of stitches, this, that, and the other go onto it, and then it's claimed to be manufactured in Europe. All the while, IRL, it's actually made in China, and they're trying to organize this exposing of this kind of system. That's what I felt when I was watching this guy. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it if you have been on TikTok. It's one guy who shows up the most, but there are other influencers there as well that have been doing that. Escape Planet saw it. Rev Boost, I guess, saw it as well. And that's just kind of the situation that we find ourselves in, and how we use that to our advantage, I don't know. But information is definitely good to have. Absolutely. I think we are headed to Adara for happening now, and then I think we got Neil's lesson of the day.
That's it, brother.
Last time we looked at the S&P 500 around 10 a.m., we were up about 1.3%. Right now, we're up only about 0.4% right now for that S&P 500. NASDAQ here barely holding on to green on the day, basically flat right now. At 11 a.m., we got some New York Fed inflation expectations higher than expected here for the year ahead, 3.6% versus 3.1% last month. Though it is worth noting there, 5-year inflation expectations here actually a little bit lower, 2.9% versus 3% as of February's reading. We have Tesla here on watch. A lot of these Mag 7 names pretty weak here today, but one that you want to keep an eye on for sure is going to be Meta, META. They have their ongoing FTC trial, so certainly something to be aware of. Then we have EL. Estee Lauder moving to the downside in sympathy after LVMH reported their earnings. Q1 leather and fashion goods earnings down 5% year over year versus the expected decrease of 0.5%. Furthermore, Donald Trump and Nayib Bukele of El Salvador, president of El Salvador, currently in a bilateral meeting right now. We have some question and answers happening right now for both presidents, so something to be aware of. I'll let you guys know if anything market moving comes of that. But before we send you back to the guys, we have our always exciting lesson of the day from Neil. So without further ado, take it away, Neil.
Thank you very much, Adara. I can't promise the lesson of the day will be exciting. What I hope it is always informative, because it's really about, like, what's the thing that the market taught me today that I think can make me a better trader tomorrow, make all of us a little bit better. And it just comes down to my favorite saying in trading: it's okay to be wrong, it's not okay to stay wrong. If you came in today looking for longs, specifically looking for dip buys, breakouts, whatever strategy it might have been, truth of the matter is we trended down from the open. Any way you want to cut it, we trended down. Like, the market broke the high at the open, and then we made lower high after lower high after lower high. And I get it. If you have like a level, you're like, okay, I want to fill in the gap till maybe the pre-market low on a stock, I'm going to give it some chances in there on Apple. I'm going to take my L's because we're trying to go long initially. And you can see when it breaks down, we got to get away from it. It's a similar story. I mean, you could have been looking at anything, but today I liked Micron, I liked Apple. Micron gave you a better, at least a decent bounce off the 72 eventually. It trailed out, and then it just broke the lows when we tried to go long there again. That's fine. It's going to happen to you. You're going to have red. But once we see something like the lower high, the break of VWAP, the trend continuation to the downside, whether you had it in your plan to look for shorts or not, I'm not going to get into Pfizer, which I already was planning on getting short. You're going to want to have shorts if you're trading. It just turns into that simple. So what I always like to do is, once it's obvious to me that, hey, man, we're not following through right now on that long, at least not the way that I would like, what are the short setups that work? Like, what are the things that I can look for to the south side where it's at least maybe not a level that I'm watching for, maybe not a specific stock with a catalyst, but just a setup to go with the trend. And I'll tell you, having that in your toolbox, and you're going to know exactly what I'm going to get at here if you've been watching the show. If I find myself scrambling for longs, I'm going to look for trend holds long or trend breaks to the long side, or I'm going to look for trend holds short or trend breaks to the short side on strong stocks. If everything else isn't following through, I'll say to myself, okay, well, what's a setup that I like? I like trend reversals and mean reversions. Let's play one on a stock trending up. So I went over to, say, Intel. Clearly trending up. Breaks trend, we go short. We hold it to the low of the day. I went over to, and then shout out to everybody in the chat, because I wasn't looking at Nike this morning. I mean, I saw a bunch of people saying how strong Nike was, and by the time I looked at Nike, this was already trending to the upside. Now, I might have missed a very clean trend break here into VWAP on Nike. I missed one on Mara as well, but you stick with it, and I ask myself, what's the next trade? It's the trend from the opening range breaking. So what happens? I missed this trend trade, but at this point, the market's trending down, so I'm looking for short. So I take the second trend break of Nike, don't even hold it through the low of the day as it continues to fall. The point being, I don't mind having a plan of action that looks long. The things that you have to keep in mind are, is there anything that will let you be wrong and just stop doing it? For me, that's always the case. You'll see me stop out at the low of the day. You're not going to see me get emotional about it or anything like that. You take the L there. You make sure your biggest losers aren't bigger than your biggest winners in a given strategy over the course of a month or a quarter, and you're good to go. But you got to accept the hit. You have to look for the other direction if we're trending in the other direction and find something that works for you. For me, I love the trend reversion trade. Because what it allows me to do is maybe find something that was strong, that's curling with the market and going with the trend, that gives you more of a move, right? Like I expect Nike and Intel might move further because they're still on the upward swing when the market looks like it's trending down, as opposed to just flipping in the stock that I was long or liking the long in when it's already at those lows. And I'm not saying this has to be for everybody, because for some people, it might be as simple as going over to, like if you were long Apple like I was, maybe you just want to flip short right in here when it breaks the low. You've just got to find the strategy that works for you. Or maybe you go from long to short in a better way, like in Micron in here. Like when I'm trailing out of the long here, maybe you're flipping short on a VWAP break. There's lots of things that you can do to look for the other direction. But once it's clear, we're setting the trend in the other way. If you are favoring the long side, at a minimum, you've got to be able to get away from it. And then hopefully you can find some execution strategies that work for you to join the trend. Be looking for shorts. Oftentimes you'll see me at 10, 10:30 say things like, oh, I'm looking for a short trade. Even if the market's going flat or it's stopped or the longs aren't working as well, I'm looking for something else. It doesn't mean you'll always find it, but you're not going to be able to find that opportunity in the opposite of the direction you were looking if you aren't accepting that long is wrong, and you got to try to go short. To each their own. Like maybe you just sit it out and wait for only long days. That's fair enough as well, because the first step is admitting that it's wrong, and the next step is finding the next trade. So there's your lesson of the day. It's a simple one. It's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong, everybody.
This guy, bro, this guy making me feel so bad about my trades. All right, let's talk about this one. USAR continues, or is like the gift that keeps on giving right now. It just, it spiked up into 13. I got long at 12.5 over here for the break of that 1260. So initially he tried to get up to 1260 on this candle, rejected. So I said, look, we're still putting in higher lows, punch in. So I punched in at 1250s, scalp, took it out. It did reject that 13. I ended up taking it, the final out at 92s. But it didn't look that way originally. It looked like it was going to take out 13, and then you had your boy over here on the left. It's like, go like this, go like this.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like, wow, this guy. He's hilarious. Anyway, USAR is continuing to go, guys. Very strong name on the day, 52 some odd percent. It just occurs to me that I haven't given you any information, sadly, on any of these small caps. So let's go ahead. USA Rare Earth Incorporated. And the reason it's so up, well, we know what China's doing. They're putting restrictions on rare earth elements, rare earth minerals, whatever you want to call them. So this is technically not a small cap gapper in the traditional sense, because it's above $1 billion market cap, a little bit over $1 billion. That's with the 53% pump, mind you. So if it comes back down, it'll lose $1 billion. Anyway, on the day, it's got 6 1/3 million shares traded with a float of around 25 million shares. And we'll look at the short float super quick before we go to Adira. I don't have the short float on it. Maybe we'll find out when we get back.
Keep an eye here on NVIDIA. Not moving much here, but Donald Trump was just asked, what are your thoughts on NVIDIA's announcement that they're going to be working here to build and invest here in AI infrastructure building in the U.S. with their partners? Donald Trump says he likes the decision, of course. He said that because NVIDIA is very much a leader in the industry, he thinks it's a good look because we know he wants these companies to move their production into the U.S. So NVIDIA not moving much, even though Donald Trump here praising their decision to announce their plans to do some their AI infrastructure production in the United States of America. Back to you.
Yeah, interesting.
You got anything to cover there, Sharif?
I want to talk about Bull, Joseph, because Bull is making its way back closer to highs. Bull holding essentially the 10 exponential like a glove on a closing basis. Again, that rings kind of hollow for a lot of people, whether it's on a closing basis or a wick basis. The reason is your stop doesn't know whether it's going to be a wick or a close. It's going to trigger once the price gets hit. But the fact of the matter is, look at this green line and all the closing prints, essentially since 11:05 a.m. have been above that technical level of support. So we're now moving into that $57 area, about 56.5. So keep your eye on this one. It essentially has a 59.50 high of day. So good look right now on this one, but I'm going to pack my patience a little bit before I weasel in. Maybe something into the 10 exponentials now that I've mentioned the 10 exponential a million times on BULL. There goes 57. So now we're about a couple of bucks off, and a couple of bucks on Bull is like 10 cents on another stock. That's what it feels like, because I took it out at 56, and this one rocketed up into 59 literally 3 seconds after I took it out at 56. So it was a monster mover today. It's continuing to be a monster mover right now. 59.64, here comes 58. We just made a new 5-minute candle to make a new high. 58.50 is getting taken out on the ask over here. Here comes 58.63, 75s. Here comes 59. We're going to take out the high of the day again. There's 59, and there's the high of the day, $60. So you can tell this one is about to squeeze again, $60 HOD. On the dot. It's $60 exactly right now as the high of day. Very good strength right now on Bull, 350%. It makes that 6-banger that we had on it look like a joke, because this one is going to go, looks like at least another $10, $20 if it can take out that $60 level again. What a fantastic move today on BULL, both from a technical sense and obviously a parabolic sense. Good look there. USAR coming all the way back down. So this doesn't look like a paper-handed trade anymore now that it's rejected 13. But I do like this area for technical support. So I'm getting long here. We'll see if we can get long at 40s. There we go. We'll look to defend this area generally on 40. So we have 40s on the dot. Let's go ahead and wait like that. And what I'm looking to defend here is that 10 exponential. Bull is breaking out, guys. $62 high day now on Bull. What a fantastic look on Bull. $62 exactly. We just finished saying 60, and that's why I said $2 for this name is like 10 cents on another name, guys. Here comes $62 again here, guys. Adara, tell us something.
Tariffs, and really, I guess, talking about the power that he has with these tariffs. He had previously said here the reason NVIDIA made their announcement about American production is purely because of the fact that he has his tariffs. Now he's saying that all he has to do is impose a tariff. So he's really saying that he wants to continue to use these tariffs to push things into his favor and have that U.S. production. With that in mind, keep an eye on these pharma names here. We'll use mRNA, PFE, any of these names pushing to the downside. Donald Trump said pharmaceutical tariffs are in the not too distant future. Why? Because he wants these drugs made in the U.S. Back to you.
Here we go. I tried to take a long on Google. Those signals were there, but just blew right past it. And then you can see that the overall market just continued to dump with it. So a nice reversal signal, got nothing on it. And then we just break through those lows and continue that downward momentum, guys. Just got to look to follow that trend. So not a good trade on that one by me. That's okay. Giving back half the day, but that's all right. We'll find another way to get it back. We'll see. See, that's the thing. I don't want to chase these longs or try to catch this falling knife, because if the market wants to continue to bleed, you don't want to be on the wrong side of the trade. Like myself, I was trying to give it as much room as possible, and then we had to get out at 158 there, guys. We were in at 159s, just a little bit south of that, and then once that support level was cracked, we had to get out. You want to stick to strong names that are strong, and that's Bull. Sharif and I took 3 points in a matter of 10-15 seconds. That was insane. So really good look there, and we should have got back in, Sharif, because you were right. That long to the top side, we broke it all the way from 51 to 62s in a span of about 10-15 minutes, up 350%. What? On the day? I didn't even really take that in, Sharif. 350% on Bull.
Yes,
still
sir.
climbing higher, looking like it wants to get into 62s here, guys. So another 5-minute bottoming signal. I don't want to chase these anymore. We'll wait until the market turns around, and then we'll look to take advantage.
All right, Adara has something at the news desk. It looks like it might be breaking news.
Yeah, Trump's still talking here. It's worth noting he did praise once again the large stock market move we had on Wednesday, second largest day in the NASDAQ history. He also said the market is up today. As he says this, we get a bit of a bounce in the NASDAQ, which was at that point slightly red on the day. So Donald Trump saying the stock market is up today seems to actually be moving up the stock market ever so slightly. Nice little bounce here for the NASDAQ, and back to you.
Bro, the 2 minutes is like an eternity in trading, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
true.
yeah, no, we're just talking about the stream there. Boom on USAR, bro. This is the gift that keeps on freaking giving. We'll take out more profits there on USAR. The only thing I'm disappointed about is the fact that I didn't get added at my position that I wanted. We're long 40s. We just wet the beak there at 59s. Now it's showing me 60. So USAR keeps defending that 10 exponential on the 5. However, that's the good news. What's the bad news on this trade? The candle that we just finished closing right now on the 5 is a lower high and a lower low. So just because I was able to get a move up on this doesn't mean it continues to move up. I'm concerned about this current candle continuing with that trend of lower highs and lower lows. As a result, I'm moving up my stop on this bad boy. But that $62 area to the T, baby, on BULL is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, who says that a lot? It's a beautiful thing. Oh, it's so beautiful. Never been this beautiful ever, right? All right. No ticker has ever been more beautiful. It's very beautiful.
How to tell at the
What's he
bottom
doing
of
now, bro?
in the markets is
Talking up a storm over there, bro.
yeah, I know he needs to relax. I think for a couple of minutes, but again, just a couple cool
Yeah, that's
days.
what we're looking at right there. You see that over Katina? Move your head. There you go. Oh, there he is. There he is. You see him?
There you go.
He's talking. Block him, Katina, man.
Block him. Don't block them. We need them. Come on, say something positive. No tariffs for everybody. All right, guys, let's see. We're right back.
They're beautiful.
We're right
Tariffs
back into
are
this
beautiful.
Google trade. We're going to take one more stab at it. I do like this 5-minute print here, guys. Good question in the chat from David Fabian as well, too.
David Faber?
No, Fabian. I was going to say David Faber, but
I was
it's
like,
not.
yes,
Yeah,
we got
it's
David
so
Faber in the chat. Okay, hello.
Yeah, and it's not David Faber, it's David Fabian.
No.
So sorry about that.
Chilean nightmares like me?
There you go. So how to tell if the bottoming or topping signal in the markets is solid to trade Apple, NVIDIA, and so on with the overall market direction? Great question. Go back and watch our volume price analysis lessons. What we look for, again, it's also an experience thing. You have to be able to identify what you want to look for first, and then once you have the ability, then it's just a matter of time, a lot of screen time until you have until you can see where they're actually displayed. So what I was referring to earlier is you can see this is a good bottoming signal. Is it going to come into play because the volatility in the market has seemed to be blowing past them? But when you see something like this, an isolated volume signature, a hammer doji print, that can be a potential bottoming signal or topping signal, especially if it's at the highs or lows. You want to look for these signals at extremes, extreme highs and extreme lows, and then that's where you can get this bounce, what you're seeing right now in the SPY stream.
All right, I'm looking at wetting the beak here at 88, give or take, on USAR. I've taken multiple outs on this already. We took out some into 13. That was on the initial pop, not this pop. But now we're showing 70s. I'm waiting a little bit higher than that at 88s on USAR. I don't know if it's become top heavy quite yet. It's still respectful of the 10 exponential moving average on the 5, and that's what I'm basing my my gauging of whether or not bears or bulls are in control. You know, you don't need to be a chartered market technician to see that we're near the high of the day as well. So, I don't want to overstay my welcome on this one, but I know what this one trades like, and it's awfully volatile. Here we go. Now we're showing 80s on the ask. Can we move a couple of shekels more to get printed at 88s? There was a seller of note at 70s who just got shellacked because they just got removed out of the way. They got removed from the trading environment. That's kind of what it feels like there, because that was an aggressive pop up from 70 into 79. So now we're showing 78, 79s on the level 1, 78 for whatever reason on the level 2. So I'm thinking about flattening out here, even though, I don't think that would be the right move. Allow this one to manifest a little bit more. We're nicely in the money. Now we're showing 82s, 85s. Okay, here we go, 85s. Let's go. We're moving up just a skosh more. We're going to flatten out right here at 85s. I'm happy with this trade. I'm not going to argue over 3 pennies. USAR, good look on the day. We'll see if it can take out 13, and if it does take out 13, I'll use 13 as a level of support. Initially, obviously, it's been resistance. It's rejected off 13 multiple times. So if that's the case, I look to flip from resistance to support. At least that's what the technical analysis books say. All right. You know I'm being facetious when I say that, obviously, because you know I believe it. Right? All right. Here's the deal. What's going on over there, Katina Man? The Katina Man's long on Google right now.
I just added to it too. 158.50.
The market's moving up, eh?
What are you in at? 158.5? I'm on 158. All right, yeah, same. I just added to the position as well too. We flossing. I'll never do that again. I promise.
No. Give it to me.
I should have got it in a little bit earlier here. I should have got in earlier, guys. You can see that we're in on this Google second attempt. Let's see if we can get to the top of this range. 159 we're looking for. Show them the sticky note.
Show them. I'm going to show them. First, I'm going to read the sticky note, and then I'm going to show them what they should be looking at. The Katina Man's handed me the sticky note. On it, it's written TQQs 48 long. Should I show him, Katina Man? I'm going to show him. I'm going to show him.
Don't do it.
Joseph, look at that bottom wick. You're able to read? If we can zoom on this right here, I know it's a little bit hard to read, but you see that bottom red corner rectangle right there?
That's if I can
If you can't zoom in, and I'll just read it for you.
If I could read.
4807. He wrote 48 long. Bro, can you please go home? You're making everybody look bad, bro.
I was swimming.
Get it, Katina Man. We're going to shout out to Katina Man. Great trades for the Katina Man on the day. Eh? The gym is costing him money, man. Something tells me it has something to do with the umpteen amount of activities your children are involved in, Katina Man, not the gym that is costing you some money there. Because from the looks of your weekends, they're awfully busy with that kind of thing. So we're going to shout you out for that. He's getting in that work, baby. It doesn't matter whether he's at the desk or what. He's getting in work.
I didn't get to the gym once this weekend, dude.
You did dumbbell curls? Attaboy. Nice.
Dang.
Today was swimming. Boom. Tomorrow's strength training.
4-day week.
4-day week.
Yeah,
True. We all have 4-day week,
off,
man. Yeah, it's a shortened week this week.
Flying to Dallas. Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, he always going away, bro. This guy living the good life. We're sitting here living the loser lifestyle. This guy's got
to go to. I'm gonna take a picture in front of the stadium just for you too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Did you hear this, bro? He's just trolling the crap out of me right now.
I thought it would be nice.
He just trolled the crap out of me,
I thought it would be nice of me to be like, hey, Sharif, look where I am.
I've never seen a picture of AT&T Stadium.
Not with me in front of it. You know what I mean?
This guy, bro, he's killing me
one
right
of a kind.
Nah. Enjoy your time, bro. Just don't do anything. Don't do anything untexan. Because you know how they are down there.
We're eating. Oh, okay, yeah.
They have a lot of pew-pews.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got plenty of pew-pews down there. It's just pew-pew central, apparently.
But apparently, Southern hospitality.
Always.
To none there.
Always.
So,
Southern hospitality. Well known, bro.
So looking forward to going out there. Yeah, I'm sorry about the UFC this weekend, guys. What happened to Diego? This guy was supposed to win, and he did.
Yeah, so I put that fight on, and that was interesting.
What is going on? It was Diego's fight to lose, and he ended up losing. If you go back and look at the statistics, so no champion 155 and lower has won the belt back being over 35. The record is literally 0-16. Volkanovski made that record 1-17. So he won it back.
Shout out to the Volksters, man.
Yeah, so never better.
Not that I know too much about that whole
Alexander Volkanovski. All right, guys, come on, let's go. Let's see.
You doing it live?
Yeah, we're doing it live. Let's see if we can get rolling here. Google, a nice bounce. Hopefully this isn't the end of it. Are we going to get all the way to the volume-weighted average price? It's not looking like it. Seems to be a bearish day here, Sharif. We would need bulls to really step in or get a really hefty cover rally there, guys. So might be a tough look here on Google. We're going to hold on to it until otherwise.
Shout out to all the fantastic Texan rappers right now. That Mexican OT, Big X the Plug, Megan the Stallion, DC2 Trill, etc. Shout out to Adara LePage, because that's what she associates Texas with. No, she likes Texas rap, bro. She's been saying that for a hot minute. So we're going to shout out Adara. And I do happen to like the comment. I mean, I cannot not like Texas and be a Cowboys fan. The only thing that I don't like about Texas, and I'll just put this out there, it's a Florida-Texas thing. The prohibitive property tax that you have to pay on homes there. So it's fantastic in terms of other taxes, but you go there, and unless you're a high earner and that property tax is not going to really affect you on a year-to-year basis, you get rents, bro.
On property tax?
Yeah, it's like $20K for like $1 million home, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
20K US. Yeah, it's not light, bro. It's not light at all. Any Texans in the chat, you want to just fact check me on that, guys, but that's my understanding is it's prohibitively high property tax or real estate tax or whatever you guys call down there. Whereas, well, in Toronto, everything is prohibitively high, but that was a bit of an outlier there. So anyway, Tennessee is better than both states, says Belinda.
Oh, okay.
Okay. New York property tax isn't great either, says Nailkush. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Better than New Jersey, someone says. I pay $5,000 a year on my property. Shout out to Carlos. All right. Taxes are wild here, says Jameson. All right, property tax in Florida is insane, says Brendan Franklin. That's my understanding. These lower taxed jurisdictions, with respect to income tax and sales tax, you end up getting rinsed on property tax.
Yeah, so there you go.
But we do have a guest up with Brendo at the big desk.
Oh,
so I'm
think,
kind of
we're doing.
my mistake.
Check this out here, Sharif.
Yeah,
Robinhood changed the game by cutting commissions.
Okay.
They made trading more accessible, but now Trade the Pool is leading the next revolution, limited risk trading. Your risk is capped at a one-time evaluation fee starting at just $47. You can choose how much you want to manage, from $5K to $200K of the company capital. Got to go with the latter half there, guys. That means no margin calls, no account blow up, and no stress because it's someone else's capital. This is limited risk revolution. Be part of the tradethepool.com and scan the QR code and save 10%. There you go, guys.
Yeah, it seems to be like I got this one right. Yeah, people are saying that it's quite high. Trader B, taxes are crazy in Texas. He's from H-Town, baby. Martina says Florida doesn't have property taxes anymore. Is that accurate, chat? I didn't know that. Okay, I thought that there were certainly property taxes in Florida. I could be wrong. It's not a tax. It's a tariff, says Johnny123.
Wow, it's like that, eh?
He's gonna throw shade. He's gonna throw shade on the tariffs. Who likes tariffs? I mean, except if you're Donald Trump, who's like, oh, tariffs are great. We got the best tariffs.
Yeah, we got the best tariffs.
Normal special, definitely not your really great. Oh, thank you, normal special. I appreciate that. I do like your name too. It's not an oxymoron at all. It's fantastic. That's not accurate, says Neo Kesh. Okay, Texas double Cali in property tax. Yeah, I did know that, but I'm pretty sure you have higher marginal tax rates for income in California as well as higher sales tax. I don't know if that ends up making a difference with property tax, but again, like I was saying, unless you're a high earner, the property taxes do affect you somewhat in Texas. That's what I was led to believe. My sister lives in California, so I'm pretty well aware of what she's paying in taxes, property taxes, that is. It's a lot lower than we pay here. She's paying, as a dentist, she's paying marginally less income tax. She's obviously paying less sales tax than we pay here. So all in all, it's a better deal for her. However, dentists in California don't earn as much as they do in Ontario. One of the very few professions, oh, you better believe it, Adara, one of the very few professions where that's actually accurate. So, she's lost a little bit on one side of the equation and gained on the other. So it's a bit of, a mixed bag over here. Yeah, Ontario is one of the, I think, or Canada that is, one of the best jurisdictions for dentists, from my understanding. They make tons of money up here. And one of the reasons is, for the most part, now this is changing a little bit, but for the most part, the healthcare here does not include dentistry. So it's private, so to speak, even though they have a fee guide that they have to follow and bill by. All right, guys, we're digressing just a little bit, so let's get back into some trading. I'm still continuing to watch Bull because Bull's area of resistance at $56 has, at least for the moment, flipped to support. So the dips into 56 on BULL are being picked up. It has a bit of a range right now that it's had for the last 10 minutes, 56 to the low side, 60 to the high side, but it does have that high day at $62. With respect to the trend, it is continuing to put in those higher lows. You haven't gotten higher highs above 62 quite yet, but the 10 exponential moving average on the 5 on BULL continues to be respected. So we'll continue to watch that. And now I'm going back over here to my site, to my other trading screen on USAR, because this one has been accumulating in front of 13 for the longest time now. It's up 56%. It's a small cap, well, it was technically not a small cap gapper. It's above $1 billion market cap right now, but that's with the 55% bump. So here it is again at 13. There's a seller of note here, and it's a hidden seller at 13. And I won't be convinced differently. Look at that. There's no size posted. You're telling me that all this chop and churn at $13 is being kept down by about 150 lots. I would have a hard time believing that. You got 74 lots posted here, 74 lots posted there, and 20 posted on Memex. Okay, so you got about less than 200 lots as to what's posted. I'll submit to you guys, it is a hidden seller at 13 on USAR that's keeping the price action down. Now, how much more does this person have left until they get pushed out? So here we go. We'll continue to watch as the higher lows manifest here on USAR, and you never really know how these things work, but it feels like it is a matter of time until that $13 high day gets taken out. 55.25% right now is the increase on the day for USAR. So continuing to zig and zag here, Joseph, anything you got on your side?
Yeah, I'm in some Google here, but it's not looking too good as the market wants to continue to move to the south side here, guys. That's all right, a couple attempts. So let's see if this long can hold on here in GOOGL. Let's take a look at the chain. This thing isn't the most liquid. Oh, I was already looking at it here. So 155, we could see, again, that's a ways away. So 155 is that next level of highest open interest on the put side. So not looking too good on that front. And then 160, you can see that there's some overhead resistance as well too, guys, with 20,000 open contracts. And there we go, continuing to bleed. And what I was just doing is in my head, it's not a good sign, especially in this market environment, personally, is that these gap ups, right? Because now the market wants to fill it. So here we go. You can see that we're already halfway there, guys, on that gap fill in AAPL. And if Apple wants to head all the way down to 200, then best believe it's going to drag a lot of these big names with it. So be patient on this front. Let's see if this bottoming signal works. But with this momentum, it may not be looking too good. And I'm looking at Amazon as well, too, here, guys, filling that gap. So a lot of these big names gapping up. Okay, so that one's already complete. That's a positive sign if we get somewhat of a bounce here, but still hovering around those lows of days, 180.39. I didn't get too much TA done. I was busy over the weekend, but I still like a couple of names for the long. You know that I've been looking at Robinhood for the past little while. I started grabbing some shares, and Amazon as well too. I had multiple options trades in this specific area, in this zone. Am I going to be buying something right now? Not necessarily, but I'm looking for those signals and waiting to pounce on that key opportunity, because I took a hefty haircut on the Qs via some calls, but we had some nice trades buying calls on Amazon, and you just want to stick to those winners. You want to stick to things that are working for us, and that is Robinhood and AMZN here, Sharif. Robinhood bouncing really nicely off of these lows from a low of 29, now trading around 43. So that's a good bounce. This is why I really like Robinhood. It was down 55% from peak to its current low, and that's a hefty haircut with a name that just had a stellar earnings report. So excuse me, I really like Hood for the foreseeable future. Going to be grabbing some more, there's no doubt.
I want to mention that these small cap gappers, I say this all the time, but I'm going to say it again because we always have newer viewers, especially these days with the viewers being what they are. These small cap gappers and small cap gapper-like stocks, so don't hold me to the strict definition of what a small cap gapper is. If they're moving 50 some odd % on the day, I categorize them as small cap gapper-like stocks. Show my chart for a second. $13. I kept waxing poetic about the seller that was there and how that they were hidden. Look at this. It dropped $1 in a second. Okay? So you need to manage risk in a technically sound way. Just because we were putting in umpteen amount of higher lows, accumulating for the 13 break, doesn't mean it's going to break, okay? This thing absolutely tanked in 1 second from 13 to 12. Just think of how many people stopped out there, okay? So I wanted to mention that, but now we're going to the big desk.
Yeah. We're just hanging out. But, David Hudson is here. Head of Structured Solutions at BMO, and we're super happy to have him here to talk a little bit about CDRs. We've had this conversation many, many times in the past. And first of all, welcome. David.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have the opportunity to shed a little more light on a product that you and I were just saying, has become so popular among retail traders specifically, and there's so many key benefits. But let's jump into a little bit on the background here first. From the BMO standpoint, talk a little bit about this product from just a wide perspective.
Sure.
And where it started.
Sure. So it's a relatively new product in Canada. I think all of your viewers know about ADRs in the US. And this is CDR, so it's Canada's take on it for Canadian investors. And what it does is it allows Canadians to access global stocks, your favorite names, whether it's Sony, Mercedes, Nintendo, access them for a fraction of the price and in Canadian dollars, not having to worry about currency fluctuations.
So that fluctuation specifically gives people an opportunity to say, I have an investment account with BMO, I want to own Mercedes, I don't want to have to, transfer from a foreign exchange perspective, money from Canada over to Germany or somewhere else to get the benefit of the exposure. So this way I can do it just with this product. The actual international aspect of this, or how much, I guess, of the international aspect of this has benefited the product?
I think right now, as investors are looking more globally, it's really been important for them to look at these names. So I think historically you might not think of a Nintendo or a Sony because it's trading a different time zone. It's just out of sight, out of mind. You might have had them in funds that you would have seen before, but for those investors that are really trying to build their own portfolio, this is a easy access play for them.
From the geographical standpoint, talk a little bit about where these are located now. What markets?
Sure. So we've launched in Japan and Germany, in Switzerland, names in Japan, names in Germany, Switzerland, Denmark, and the Netherlands. So that's the start. So you're looking at Asia, looking at Europe. We think this is where the ETF business was, let's say, 12 years ago. It's just the start. And so we'll continue to expand. You'll continue to see innovation in the space, which is fantastic.
For someone who's maybe brand new with this and has never even heard that term before, as you said, like the viewers might be a little bit more familiar with the ADR aspect. We talk about Chinese ADRs on this show a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's similar from that standpoint. For someone who might not be really, really familiar, walk them through the process here. If I want to open an account with BMO and get exposure to something in Japan or in Germany, as you said, what am I buying?
So first, you can have it on your favorite trading platform. It doesn't have to be any trading platform you use. You can buy and sell just like any other stock or ETF. You just look it up and you look up just like any other ticker, look it up, and you can purchase it just like any other stock or ETF. What you are getting access to is exposure to those underlying shares that trade in a foreign market, but not having to, in Canadian dollars, and not have to worry about currency fluctuations. The example I always give is Nintendo. So about a decade, a little bit longer, I wanted access to Nintendo. I grew up in that era. Love Nintendo. Why not buy Nintendo? And for my whole period, the stock went up, but the currency, the only way at the time was US ADR. So I was exposed to, at that time, US currency risk. And the currency went against me during my whole period. So my return, after you factored in to exchange into US dollars to buy the ADR, you decide to sell it and then convert back to CAD because you need it to buy whatever your next stock is going to be. That's costly, and you look at your return, and it really aided in my return. So why not be able to buy it, get exposure to the underlying share, the performance of the underlying share, and not have to worry about the currency and the fluctuations on the currency? That's what we're trying to do.
Specifically right now, let's be honest, our Canadian dollar is not the greatest when it comes to, comparing to the US dollar. So instead of an OTC listing, for example, on something like a Nintendo, we can go this route and benefit.
Yeah, exactly. And you feel it now because of where the Canadian dollar's at, and you don't know how long your whole period is, and you don't know, markets, especially now very volatile, you don't know where the currency is going. So if you can just take that and not have to worry about that and just focus, I know, I have a view on Mercedes, I have a view on Sony or Nintendo. You can make those decisions without having to worry about them.
Let's talk about Mercedes for a second. And when it comes to the actual pricing of these, I know there's some calculations that have to happen for that very reason. If I pull up the CDR version versus I can pull up, the ticker over in Germany of Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
What's the difference in what?
So our CDRs that we have launched started trading at around $10. So that's, less than, for most of the underlines that we are looking at, less than and sometimes significantly less than how they would trade in their home jurisdiction. And of course, we're quoted in CAD and they'll be quoted in their, in euros or in Japan in yen. So, what we are looking to do is provide an easy access to provide fractional exposure. And so when you buy, what you're buying in Canada is a receipt, just like an ADR. That receipt will give you a right to the exposure to so many shares of the underlying. So it might be a half a share of Mercedes-Benz, it might be a third of a share. And what happens is every day there's an adjustment on that ratio depending on how the currency moves. So you, the investor, will always only hold one receipt, but a number of shares you get exposed to goes up or down depending on the currency fluctuations. The net effect for viewers and investors at home that are buying is not have to worry about where the currency is going, just worried about the underlying and do I want to buy it?
And let's be honest, for someone who's maybe not trading this, but they want to invest in something like a Mercedes-Benz, the time frame allows you to be a little bit more flexible with the actual pricing of it. So from a trading standpoint, what would you say is the best practices maybe for someone looking to do that?
Yeah, that's interesting. And because these markets are, there is some, for Europe, for instance, there's some overlap. There's about a 2-hour overlap between our trading and their trading. What we always say is you'll see better liquidity earlier in the day. And just like an ETF, you can use a limit order saying, I want to buy at this amount and just leave it at that to help you facilitate that purchasing decision. Exactly. So there are ways to mitigate that. It's no different than if you're buying, a stock or ETF. But yeah, keeping in mind that there's different times a day that, when the local markets are open here and, Germany's open till, let's say, 11:30 our time, that you'll see a better, that's probably, it's a more prudent strategy.
You and I were talking before we came on camera here about the simple fact that a lot of people in this room, hold CDRs as a part of their long-term investment strategy. Going forward, I mean, you mentioned a few of the countries that BMO is in: Japan, Denmark, Germany, Switzerland. So products, individual companies from each one of those countries available through a CDR. What's the next step? So listening to that retail audience, what they want. We're already getting feedback on ones they want to see and the countries they want to see. And so we do have, in Canada, in order for us to launch a CDR, there's certain liquidity and capitalization standards. They have to have, the underlying company has to have and a market cap of 25 billion US. There's trading volume there of average daily trading volume 125 million. So we have a sandbox we can play in, but we're looking at these names, we're taking those names back, and we're saying, okay, let's go ahead and do this. And there's obviously a time back in the kitchen to make the product work, but that's the long-term goal, is to keep launching these, to keep meeting investor demand, because you don't know what the next NVIDIA is, and you want to be there. And so, we're going to continue to roll it out. And not only do we not know what the next NVIDIA is, but we don't know what country it's going to come out of potentially, given the global aspect of what is happening in the world today. So great stuff. I feel like this is very early days for this product. And as you were saying, it's the retail aspect of this that makes life so much easier, especially from a pricing standpoint. It's very attractive.
100%. It allows investors to access these great names at a fraction of the price and then not worry.
If anyone watching wants more information, where would you send them?
BMO CDR website. You can just Google BMO CDRs, or you can buy that on any of your favorite trading platforms. We're here for you.
Fantastic. David Hudson's head of structured solutions over at BMO. Great to see you.
Great to see you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Everything.
Thank you very much for that, Brendo. Excellent information there, man, about CDRs. The Katina man, the Neil, Joseph, and I are all talking off camera about Canadian depository receipts. Sounds exactly like what it is, American depository receipts, obviously for the same function. So if you're interested in that, check out BMO. Obviously, BMO stands for the Bank of Montreal. So go Canada. Just want to make sure y'all know that. BMO. It ain't just BMO in a vacuum. It's Bank of Montreal.
BMO Canadian.
BMO Canadian. Joseph, we got a couple of things we want to talk about. We want to talk a little bit about Amazon. We're going to talk a little bit about Meta now that we've got some time.
Love it.
But before we do that, let's talk about the rocket in the room. And it goes by the ticker BULL. Another freaking high of day as the interview was going on into basically $66, $65.99. And your boy, JCB Sports Cards, is $20 freaking dollars in the money. So we're gonna hit the dollar club twice for you, and then you can multiply by 10. So shout out to you, man. That's a fantastic trade. I hope you managed. Well, I'm sure you managed risk very well because you're $20 in the money. So that should be self-evident. Shout out to you and great trade from our end. Listen here though, let's talk a little bit about Meta, because Meta's getting shellacked on the day, and there's a reason for that. Let's first bring in the chart. There's Meta, and you can tell there's an aggressive sell program right now on Meta. This is the 5-minute chart, and it's been very respectful right now of the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart, because it has nary a print, wick, close, or otherwise, above the 10 since 10:05 a.m. That's how weak it is, Joseph. And it didn't even close above the 10 at that time. It just wicked, and then it dropped right back below. So Meta down 2 1/4, and there's a real reason why this is happening. Let's bring it in and talk about it. I teased it on Friday, guys, when we did our rundown, and I want to talk about it again. This is kind of a bipartisan issue, if we can call it that way. The FTC, Federal Trade Commission trial on Meta started under the wrath of Lina Khan. I'm talking about the former chair of the FTC under the Biden administration, widely known to be kind of anti-monopoly, anti-big conglomerate business and looking to split them up. She wrote her thesis on that, and I believe she went to Yale, if I'm not mistaken. And so it was well known that she was going to come in and do that. Now, the new FTC chair, I think his name is Roger Ferguson, if I'm not mistaken, Andrew Ferguson, excuse me, is not changing the deal here with Meta. So here's what they're looking to do. The FTC is seeking to force Meta to break up its acquisitions of Instagram, which it picked up in 2012, and WhatsApp in 2014, arguing that at the time they were bought, there was anti-competitive moves that Meta used to stifle emerging threats. The trial is expected, believe it or not, to run through to July and may require Meta to divest the assets. That's if, of course, the FTC wins. The judge, though, in the case has made it very clear to the Federal Trade Commission that they have an uphill battle here, okay? So they've got the burden of proof legally, and according to the prima facie case, it's an uphill battle. Just to give you some idea, though, about what kind of revenue damage the divestment of Instagram specifically can do. Instagram is a major revenue driver. It's forecast to generate $37.13 billion in 2025 in advertising revenue. That is over half of Meta's ad revenue. I was wrong, Joseph. Over half. I said less than half to you. Over half of their revenue could be taken away if they have to divest the platform. WhatsApp doesn't bring in too much money, but they're looking at WhatsApp as the future. They want to use WhatsApp for these business messaging. So WhatsApp is Meta's most used app by daily active users, and they see it as the future monetization engine via business messaging. We'll have to see how that all works out. This could be a test case here for how the Trump administration, or how aggressively the Trump administration will pursue big tech, despite the closer political ties. We know Zuck was one of the guys, the tech bros that was at the inauguration. He also donated $1 million. He also put Dana White on his board. He also put some Egyptian woman too, by the way, on the board as well. So a Republican woman who worked for Donald Trump. So he's trying to get in good with Donald Trump. But Zuckerberg is expected, believe it or not, to testify with the internal emails expected to be highlighted in court. Meta is arguing that it has got plenty of competition. It's not a monopoly. It's got TikTok. It's got YouTube. It even says iMessage is a competitor. It's not just Snapchat and MeWe, as the FTC claims. I don't know what the hell this MeWe is. Who the hell has heard of MeWe? In any event, so this Andrew Ferguson guy, who was the new FTC chair after the wrath of Lina Khan, He's pressing ahead, man. He doesn't care. It's not just because the politics has changed. He's looking at it as a law and order type thing. Meta has softened its content moderation policies and could test the administration through donations and visits. So we'll see how that all works out. But Meta really taking a bit of a hit today. I believe that the trial starts today. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't gotten any new information on that. I'm just looking at my news blotter here to see if there's anything new on Meta coming in. No, it's just all about it starts today. Yeah, nothing coming out quite yet. So maybe we'll get a report from the reporters at the end of the day, guys. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Continues to print new highs, though. BULL, Joseph, 400%.
Yeah, crazy stuff. And honestly, great reporting there on Meta as well, too, Sharif. As you can see, we are down 2.2%. So not a positive sign and kind of similar to what we had going on with Google here. So, guys, not a good look here in Meta, Sharif reporting that. So if it has to divest, that can be ugly. And the same thing what I was saying with Google and Chrome and how important it is to Apple. These ecosystems are highly correlated. And I personally don't agree with it. I know people don't like these big corporations, whatever it may be, but you want your strongest to stay the strongest, and especially when you're in a trade war with China. So again, I don't love it, and I do believe that Instagram has competition. Obviously, it's king. Somebody has to be king. It's just the world that we live in, but I don't think that's a good battle from the FTC there, guys. All right, let's see what we got going on with Google. It doesn't seem like it wants to break up, but what continuously is climbing higher is the bull, now trading at 69. We were in at 55s. This thing is now up to 69. So, and continuing to move. You can see the buyers really aggressively stepping in there, and the ask just hit at the ask, above the ask, at the ask, above it. So really strong price action here from BULL. That was the trade of the day, in my opinion. So really, really good look there. Google, come on, we got to find somewhat of a bottom here, guys. You can see that we're on top of this resistance zone as well from a daily standpoint, but giving it back and filling up that gap. We gapped up here earlier this morning, right when the markets opened, and now starting to fill it back in here, guys. If we enter 158.09, that can signal some definite trouble, and we might have to get out of this trade here because it looks like it wants to break down and test these lows. I like that potential stopping volume. You can see that isolated pivot and that signature. Is it going to come into play? We have to wait. If the trend cracks it to the downside and we end up on the backside of it, then we're going to have to get out, and it's going to be a no-go here on Google. And if you guys can see here on my chart, we added to the position, so we have to pay attention to our stop, because if it breaks those lows, we don't want to take a bigger loss than necessary, Sharif.
Celois, because it's important. I'm not taking it short. I don't want to take it short. I don't want to short something in my personal account. I've never shorted anything in a swing trade, but for people who are involved in the name, don't you think they should be apprised of it? I think that's pretty self-evident. The fact that you have to question that makes me question you. So we'll continue to watch out here. Bull, baby. 69.34 is the high of the day. It's on its way. It feels like to $70, but I'm not going to be punching in at these levels. What I'd like to see is a retracement back into that 10 exponential, because it's been very, very money off that level. I'm talking about the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. Let's have a look at what I mean. So this is the green line. That's the 10 exponential. And as you can see, all the retracements into that level have been bought up, and new highs and new lows have come into play. It is now a $70 high of day, but this thing is moving dollars at a time. So I wanted to make the point, and I said I said this earlier, this thing moves $2 in the way that US CAR, for example, or USCR would move 10 cents. It's kind of very similar in terms of price action that way. So be careful with this one if you're going to trade it. Make sure you're sizing in you're taking the right profit-taking levels at key areas of psychological support, psychological resistance, picking it up off key technical levels like the moving averages or the whole dollar level. So be careful with this one, but it's given you a lot to trade today, 420%. In case you were wondering what's going on, this one de-SPAC'd on Friday. It was a SPAC. It was taken live. I forget the name of the ticker prior to that, but doesn't really matter. It didn't do a whole lot during regular trading hours on Friday. As you can see, the volume spike and the price action really start to get going there at about 5 to 4 on Friday. Well, how come? Why did they start moving in the aftermarket? Well, there's a reason why these ones move in the aftermarket and why they move in the pre-market. There's no volatility halt parameters, meaning that if it moves up more than 10% within 5 minutes, it won't be halted like it would be during regular trading hours. Hence, traders like to trade these small cap gappers in the aftermarket, in the pre-market, so they can get these outsized price moves. So, did basically nothing, as I mentioned, during the regular trading day on Friday, but towards the end of the day and into the aftermarket, it really got going. It continued that aggression this morning when pre-market trading started at 4 a.m. I didn't watch this one on Blue Ocean yesterday, like I was watching Apple on Blue Ocean, so have no idea what it was trading like before 4 a.m. at 8 p.m. yesterday. The point is, though, it's found its trend today. It's been very respectful of the 10 moving average, or sorry, the 10 EMA on the 5, and it has a $70 high day. So we'll keep tabs on this one, Joseph, and I'll be picking it up off the 10 if it comes back in there.
Good look there, guys. Yeah, let's take a couple steps back here and see what we got going on from a top performing sector standpoint. That's all right. It's we'll figure that out. There's a lot to cover here. Ramin, I mean, the markets are volatile. We're now going towards the low of day with the likes of Meta and Amazon.
Neil, fat
so
end.
really weak. Pardon me?
No, I was just telling Neil. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So guys, I mean, a high of 188 here on Amazon on the day, and then now we're trading around 180.14, and the same thing going on with Meta, 556 with the high of day here, guys. Now trading at 531, down about 2.3% on the session. So a little bit of a tough look here on some of these other names, and you can see it reflected here in the market as we start to continue to climb down, sorry, I should say. Are we going to get a bounce? It looks like the market wants to turn over, but these signals are just getting blown by. This is really nice stopping vol, but the weak sentiment is just driving us lower and lower. So tough look. I mean, we are rebounding off of the lows. You can see, like, what a monster. Oh, that's the cue. Sorry, guys. I want to pull up Meta here. And we were referring to just like that 16-day consecutive green streak in Meta. And then look what happened since then. So we go to a high of 740.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
Joseph,
it's
what's
nuts,
the drop
man.
from there, brother?
Yeah.
Go from top to bottom,
Yeah,
just so we get that.
There we go, from top to bottom.
God, what are we?
34%.
You gotta be kidding me.
Like, yeah, exactly. And there's nothing that says, hey, we're ready to completely turn around. We had this massive engulfing day. Sharif was talking about it as well. These happen usually in bearish sentiment days and market environments, right? So if we head towards these lows, I do believe that we can crack it until something else comes out with China. Hey, we've come to somewhat of agreement. I think that the overall message is going to be continue to fade every single pop. And it seems to be the case here today, Sharif, as we continue to move lower, Meta down 2%, and Google only up 0.5% now.
All right, we're in fat N, baby. Taking a dip trade off. There's 7 1/3. It's showing me 40s, looking for a print. The spread is prohibitive. Someone got mad that I kept saying prohibitive earlier. I'm sorry, it's a word I like. So we'll keep an eye out on this one. Definitely looking for another move up. Something around, yeah, like $7. I could certainly continue to defend this one in. We have small share size, so it'll allow me to kind of, you know, we'll see. We'll hang out here. Let's go to the 40s, and then let's set up something north of 50. If this one really wants to get squeezing here, I'm talking about fat N, baby. FATN is the ticker, up 15.5%. This one was moving the other day. Casey France. Yeah, well, that's the name of the company, baby. Fat Pipe is the name of the company. FATN, Fat Pipe. Shout out to Ozan. Ozan, Ramin makes Sharif read e-signal again. I haven't read e-signal in a while. What are you talking about, Ozan? What's going on over there, brother? All right, set up some more. We're going to wait. You know where we're going to wait, Joseph? All right, so we're going to hang out there. Let's see if we can get a continued move up here on Fat Pipe. It's continuing to move up nicely on the day. Well, it's up 20%. Caught the bottom on that retracement right now. I'm looking at this one to see if we can continue moving up into that $0.75. There does seem to be sellers at 60 though. There we go, 65 got cleared. Now let's see if we can continue to move up here. Let me see if we can get something around 7 1/4. That's what I'm looking at right now. 7.25 is where I'm looking at getting the beak wet. 75's now showing up on the ask. We only need to cross a little bit more, and then we'll take it out this entire trade. If we can cross just a little bit, 75's now showing up, not crossing though, so we'll have to pack our patience.
And bam.
Boom on fat pipe. Good look right now. FATN squeezing. Here comes $8 though. Be careful with this one. The bottom can drop off at any time. We already know that. So the details on this one are $107 million market cap with 711,000 shares traded on the day. Believe it or not, I still don't have a float on this one, even though it's been trading for a while. Okay, now Trade Ideas tells me 8.69 million. Here comes $8, guys. This is a big squeeze right now on fat pipe. Be careful with this one though. $8 is about to get taken out. $8 right now on the ask. Boom, Adara, $8 was nothing to this one.
Wow.
Certainly an exciting day here for a lot of these small caps, but be aware there is a little bit of movement on some of these larger auto names. Here's STLA, nice push to the upside. CNBC attributing this upside move to the fact that Donald Trump said he wants to help, quote unquote, some car companies with regards to tariffs. So keep an eye here on STLA. Could also watch GM or F with this in mind. Stellantis also has their annual general meeting tomorrow. So STLA on watch for sure here. And back to you.
Red leg. Some people are saying I can't hear. Just refresh your stream, guys.
A lot of people are saying just refresh, guys, and you should be okay. I got out of Google as it broke through those lows. Don't want any part of that. Let's see if we can join this trend here, guys. On the TQs, it looks like we're heading towards some key support levels. Can they break? And we head towards the low of day. Nice momentum, and then we get another pop. There has to be some news here. No, that's not good there, Sharif. As we start to climb higher. What is this? There's some kind of news. This is crazy.
What did he do now, bro?
What did he do now? As soon as I go short, I got to get out of this trade. We want to join this to the long side. Momentum and volatility coming into the top side. As soon as we go short, you see that coming. What did this guy tweet? I can't catch a break with Donald. What is going on? Look at the time of sales. Look at the tape. Look at the L2. We're really starting to pick up. The volume most definitely stepping in here on the 1 minute time frame. What's going on over there? We don't see anything on CNN, but very, very quick. So
you know what we need constantly now? A Truth Social app on the screen.
At all times.
Because he goes to Truth Social first. Adara, go ahead.
It's not Truth Social related, nor is it Trump related. It's actually comments from Fed's Waller saying that, quote, I believe higher inflation from tariffs will be temporary. Also saying, though, that the tariff policy is, quote, one of the biggest shocks to affect the U.S. economy in decades. So while acknowledging the massive impacts here on the U.S. economy and the stock market with regards to tariffs, we do have Fed's Waller saying that basically the higher inflation should be temporary. Also adding, though, if the current 25% average tariff rate stays for some time, inflation could peak near 5%. So these comments are really mixed. Initially here sounding a little bit more optimistic. It ends up getting pretty cautious here when he says that inflation could peak near 5%. Back to you.
All right, guys, if you are having audio issues, if you're having stream issues, restart the stream. It should be fine. Guys, bull is absolutely flying now. It is a 77.40 high a day. I don't even like calling out these highs a day because it changes in a second, Joseph. Yeah. By the time the words are done out of my mouth, 77.58. We're showing 77.49 right now on the level 2. There's a lot of buying here in the low 76s, 76 mid 50s. So you can feel the buyers are moving up incrementally with the price action here. This is one hell of a squeeze, but we know what these ones end up looking like when they head back down. So you don't want to be the person holding the bag. Trade this one using sound risk management and take profits, baby. Take profits, wet the beak, get some profits in there, and yeah, so you can have an account with which to trade. We're on our way to $80. It is a 79.50 high day. Quick as you like, it dropped into 76. Again, that's like moving 10 cents on another stock when this one moves $2. This is awfully aggressive right now. It looks like we're going to take out 80. Adara LePage.
Thank you there, Sharif Gobriel. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of these Fed's Waller comments are pretty hot and cold. They're pretty mixed. One thing he is saying here is he thinks that the risk of a recession at this point outweighs the risk of higher inflation. But if this recession risk becomes a serious threat, he would actually favor rate cuts sooner rather than later. Again, the remark that he made that really moved this market was Fed's Waller saying basically that he thinks that these higher inflation from tariffs are likely going to be a more short-term thing, but he did also say that if we get this average 25% tariff rate continued, we could have roughly 5% inflation at the peak. However, if it's roughly 10% on average tariffs across the board, then it's more likely inflation will peak at 3%. So very mixed comments here coming from Fed's Waller. Again, he says right now his bigger concern is not necessarily going to be inflation, it's going to be possible recession. Back to you.
Yeah, fantastic stuff there, Adara. So chiming in as always, much needed information, guys. As the market looks like it's giving back a lot of what it just popped there on that news. So there we go, some good stuff there from Adara. Going to be a little bit patient to see what we got going on here, guys. What a squeeze here. That's crazy that even happened. Again, just go short, looking for that test of the high day, and then we just get caught in this volatility onslaught. So yeah. Thanks for that. Just kidding. But yeah, let's be a little bit more patient here, guys. I'm in some bull, slightly a bit of a chase there. I didn't want to get in as much as I did. Boom, and then we go. We just take a $4 haircut. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to get out of this trade here as we climb to a little bit lower. Let's see if we can get any form of pop. All right, up to 80. Looking for that squeeze. 463% here in bull. So what a crazy, crazy move. You can see the spread as well too, guys. About 50 cents now. But really, really strong tape. Let's see if we can get another pop here in bull. Come on, let's go. Punch through 80s. Let's see. Oh, I don't even know if this thing's optionable yet. I highly doubt that it is. So no need to look at that. Let's keep our eyes fixated on this bull if we can crack through 80. Let's look at the imbalance here on the level 2. Not a positive sign. As you can see, it really start to pick up to the downside. Come on, let's go break through. Get some buyers stepping in here. But yeah, we'll be a little bit more patient on this front here. Let's see what everybody else is looking at here throughout the session. What is your number one ticker? Please feel free to let me know, and we'll go over some of those big names that you guys have been trading. But Webull, if we crack 74, gonna have to get out of this one because we don't want to take too big of a loss here, guys. And a nice not nice, but this is slightly indecision print here on the 5-minute time frame. Let's continue to climb higher here in Webull, Sharif 77s. We're in it again, trying to get this pop through the high of day. Hopefully we don't we break through this this downtrend that we can see tertiary, but we need that momentum and volume to really step in here, Sharif, so we can crack through 80s. But again, a hefty spread at times 60 to 70 cents. So be prepared. Make sure those risk measures are in place because you're most definitely going to need them because this name can drop $4, $5, $6 in a span of a couple of seconds. So be prepared for that. And so there we go. Now south of 75 here, Sharif, if you don't mind.
Yes, absolutely. Of course. Well said there, Joseph. The risk management on this one is absolutely required. Because, well, we know exactly what this one can do. I'm continuing to look at Fat N over here because it's continuing to hang out at $8. It's got multiple topping tails, as you can see, into that 8.25. Technically, it's an 8.23 high, but I like a lot about this. I hate the topping tails, obviously, because it shows there's either aggressive profit taking that 8.25 or aggressive short selling, but that's the bad side. Wow, it just took out the high right there. 8.5 now on Fat Pipe. Fantastic move up into 8.48, but it's trading crazy. And the reason it's trading crazy is because it's awfully spready. Let's go ahead and load this one up on the trading screen. I know, Adara, I get you like the spready names, but you know what I mean, Adara. Like these ones, they get spready, you get in trouble on them. And this one's really going here. Fat Pipe is about to take out 880. And look at the tape. Now the tape's moving aggressive because a lot of orders are coming in at that level. So $8.82 is the high of the day right now on Fat Pipe. It's up 36, 37, looking to go 38%. We could be at that $9 area quick as you frickin' like, but we'll keep an eye on it right now. I like a dip trade. You know, I'm just not going to punch in at these highs, or at least there has to be a micro pullback into, a predictable level like 8.5, 8 2/3. It does look like it might halt parameter here. Now we've got the halt parameter flashing 889. If it continues to trade, we are now halted at 889 with a theoretical auction price right there, always on my level 2 at $8.90. So Fat Pipe continuing to have a good couple of days here, guys. This one showed up last week. It's continuing its strength today. 7.29 now, the theoretical auction price. So it looks like there's a plethora of offers, sell orders coming in during the halt parameter. Now, if you're a newer 8.90 now, okay, so it's basically break even. So if you're a newer trader and you wonder why the stock has stopped, if it moves up 10%, within 5 minutes, it halts for volatility. These halts come in waves of 5 minutes. So at a minimum, it's going to be halted until 1:12:45. Okay, so it halted at 1:07:45 technically, because the last print came in at 45. So it will at a minimum open up at 1:12:45, but they could come in waves of 5. So 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And what's happening during this halt period is orders are coming in, market on open orders, MOOs or MOOs we call them. And what these do is they are basically an auction. It's a pairing system. So once we're halted, the exchange, get it, Ozan. Ozan loves that one, right? He just wants to hear China and the cow moving and exploding with money. And he's happy about that. No, but seriously though, so while we're halted, the exchange gets buy and sell orders from both parties, and they pair those orders. And whatever imbalance there is, whether on the positive or negative side, is reflected in what we call the theoretical auction price, the TAP. And that's the number I have right there. You can zoom in if you're using mobile. Otherwise, too bad. So $9.50 is a theoretical auction price right now. That means based on the amount of buy and sell orders that they've received, there's a buy-in balance totaling a price, a current open price of $9.50. So that shows buyer exuberance at the moment. But that's by no means the end of the matter. Sometimes we see $9.50 or whatever, a way higher theoretical auction price than the actual halt price, and then it opens up and all hell breaks loose. It'll zig up, it'll zig down, and so you'll have orders trigger, you'll have stops trigger. So, needless to say that there's a lot of volatility, and the theoretical auction price is not the end-all and be-all of the matter. Whoa. So we're going to keep an eye out on this one as Fat N continues to stay halted right now at $8.89 with an earliest open time of 1:07:45. So we'll keep tabs on that. USAR is continuing to dance with that $13 level. If 13 gets taken here, I'm going long. And I'm using 13 as a level of support. Currently, obviously, resistance. USAR has been a dang rocket ship. There's been a lot of good small cap gappers today. It's not just bull that's running, okay? USAR, I just finished talking about Fat Pipe as well. This one is moving on its way to 13. It's rejected 13 multiple times. I'm talking about USAR. It's up 55%. Now, why is this one keep rejecting off 13, and why am I basing my trade off 13? So, technical analysis, not a hard and fast rule. It happens sometimes, it doesn't happen all the time. What I'm talking about is areas of resistance, prices where the price action keeps rejecting. Like it gets to 13, it drops. Sometimes when those are cleared, we can use them as support, meaning when they come back down to 13, from 13 1/3, 13 1/4, it'll find support, it'll find buyers there, okay? So that's what that's what I'm looking for right now, a clearing of 13, and then I'll use that as my my backstop to see if we can get long. So USAR continuing to be in focus for me. Back to Fat Pipe. What time is it right now? Let's have a look. It's so it's 1:11:54. So we have 50 seconds until this one can theoretically open up. It could be longer, could be 10 minutes. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how long it is. Currently, the theoretical auction price over $1.30. Lower than where we halted. We're showing $7.50 right now as the theoretical auction price, and we halted essentially at $8.89, $8.90. So this one could open up quite aggressively lower if we were to open up right now. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on, guys. I'm very interested in Fat N. So this one, Bull, right now with that $70 bounce. Fat N to see how it opens up, and your boy, USAR, continuing to accumulate for that $13 break,
All right.
Joseph.
All right, there, guys. Yeah, so bull, that was very, very dangerous. Good thing we went small, guys. You don't want to do this here. So you can see a hefty. Once it broke down, that spread really gets you. So be careful on that one. Nice trade earlier on there. But then, yeah, a lot of people in chat were saying watch out for that one. So punch in at 78. Tough go there on that front, guys. But let's get back into some Google. Hopefully we can slowly start to curl around here, guys, and maybe start to recover some of these losses on the day. I mean, we were trading above the volume weighted average price for a nice bit of the session, and then we just start trading below it. So it's unfortunate that the weakness is here. We are still slightly positive, but it went into that gap. So again, started to fill that partial gap that we seen from earlier at the open. And now slowly starting to recover. So let's see if we can get this to climb. We need to head into these resistance zones in order for us to break through them. But it does seem that the sentiment is to the downside. Oh, good, back. Yeah, exactly. So we'll just be patient on that one. Be careful in bull, guys. It just dropped $4 just like that. So gave away the profits on the day. But that's all right. We were looking for that home run and it didn't come into play. So that was okay. But here we go in Google, guys, starting to get this breakout. Let's see if we can climb up to 158.80s and start this recovery here on the session. Meta starting to bounce as well too. Positive note. What's NVDA been up to? I was looking at that earlier in the session, but again, once we broke this trend to the downside, haven't really recovered. Multiple signals coming in, and then we slowly grind, but a nice volatility spike here in the market, and then just heading right back to the lows, but can see that consistent higher lows. That's a positive sign. Are we going to run into this resistance zone? Maybe, possibly. We have to be patient and wait. It's going to be a grind, so you can see that we have these over-under type plays. Let's go, Sharif. What are you punching up in there?
Your boy
SPCE,
Fat Pipe did it again. Okay, Fat Pipe is just like, come on, bro. Come on now. We got in 832, added Joseph, 886, scalp, boom. Yeah, I need to calm down, bro. I'm sorry. I don't even have that much caffeine. That's the thing. I'm like 3 hours off my last coffee, bro. I don't know how this happens, man. I got the Katina energy today, baby.
Dang.
All right, this one's continuing to go, Joseph. Fat N is squeezing right now, guys. We're $1 higher than we were actually prior to the halt. We're into 940 right now. Your boy Fat Pipe is really moving up here. It's up 47%, Joseph. It looks like it wants to take out 50. We could see $10 quick as you freaking like on this one. Keep an eye out for 950. Certainly a seller of note at $9.50. They're getting taken out though. So here we go. We're showing there it is, at least on the ask. We didn't cross on the bid quite yet. Very close, and there it is on the bid and both the ask. Fat Pipe continuing to head up. Halt perimeter 966. We could see a halt, guys, if we trade at this level for 10 seconds total. I don't know how many seconds total right now, more, but $9.66.
No, not right now. Not right now.
We're doing a show. Look, you know, I have a lot of respect for you. You had a fantastic 2020. 2021 was pretty good. I don't know about 2022, though. I heard you had some major losses, some record losses. How you doing? You good?
Ask her what she sold NVIDIA at.
What'd you say? Joseph wants to know what you sold
Warren,
NVIDIA.
It's Warren now. It's Warren. Warren, do you want to get on with Kathy and Sharif and I?
Well, look. I got Joseph. He's talking to Warren right now. He doesn't really want to talk to you. I got to tell you the truth.
Oh, what? Jerome?
Well, Jerome's calling.
Us.
All right, we got to go, bro.
This is crazy. Sharif's got to hang up. Now we got Jerome on the other end. What are you guys up to? Well, he let me and Katina Man know there.
Oh, man.
All right, I'll tell him. I'll let him know. All right, 7 o'clock? Sounds good.
Odyssey fights. Wow. Kathy is your sugar mama? I wish, bro. I wish. Go ahead, Katina Man.
So Jerome just said you guys are doing a great job.
Oh,
and, you know, don't take any advice from any of those two because, you know, you got to do your own thing.
Tell him to lower rates, bro.
No.
Okay.
Tell him Donald's really angry about this.
I'll phone him back.
Next.
All right, see you guys.
Thank you, Katina Man.
Show him this too. Here, Jerome.
Oh, take him to the hole, baby. Take him.
Let's go. Foul.
Foul. The knee bone connected to the hip bone, connected to this bone. You know what I mean?
Foul, baby. All right, guys, let's see what we got going on. Come on, break up here. Google, we would like to see you crack through, but it seems to be we're chopping around here on the session. Let me pull this chart back up. Oh
man. I hope everybody's having a good time with us, guys. We're having a great time today. Yeah.
We can't tell you exactly what they said, but you know, we try to relay as much as possible. Obviously, confidential stuff there, guys.
There you go. Papa is pretty. I mean,
he's pretty open about.
Papa is, you know, he swears a lot. Well, he's yelled to close the door multiple times.
He tells me, he said, Joe, I'm sticking to the dual mandate. Right? Like he said, don't think otherwise. We have two policies. That's maximum employment and price stability. So I said, all right, thanks, Jerome. Let me know when the next cut is.
You know, tell him to stop reading off the cue cards and talk like a dang human being, man.
But see, the thing is, though, Sharif, that's funny. That's funny that you said that because he told me exactly. He said, Joe, listen, we're data dependent, and we need to wait for the
data dependent. I would shoot myself if I hear data dependent one more time.
Hey, man. The guy's telling me what he's telling me. Nothing I can do.
Good times. Odyssey Fights. That's why I love the show. Sharif, Sean, you guys have the direct plug with important people. Joseph just got a call from Warren Buffett, bro. So I'd say he's plugged in pretty much too. We're having a great time today, guys. I do apologize if you find us a little bit silly, but you know, we try to have a good time. We're putting on some good trades too. I can't complain about that, guys. Fat Pipe is halted to the upside yet again, Joseph, at $9.66. But we have Adira at the big desk.
Let's go.
Here is the NASDAQ on watch here. It is worth noting, Fed Chair Powell, as much as he was just discussed here, he's actually scheduled to speak on Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. So in, I guess, roughly now about 48 hours from this moment, Fed Chair Jerome Powell will be leading this economic discussion at the Economic Club of Chicago in, of course, Chicago, Illinois. So Fed Chair Powell actually scheduled to speak in about 48 hours to the dot from this moment. Back to you.
Adara, so there you go, Jay Powell.
Get it, Adara.
So I'd like how Adara had that chart there up there, guys. I want to display this here as well. So look at this gap up here earlier, right at 4 a.m. when the market opens, and then look where we base out, and now we're slowly starting to curl over. So that gap has now been filled, and now we're starting to recover. So there you go. That was one of my plans. I said once we entered it, then there could be some more downside, and then we end up filling it here on the session, running into Friday's post-market zones, and then now bouncing right off of those areas, completely filling that intraday gap here, guys. So really good look on that front. Let's go, Google. Are you still in it there, Katina, man?
Let's go.
And now he's long 157.60s. We're in at 158.20s. Maybe we'll take a little bit off here. 158.80s is going to be that resistance zone we're going to keep an eye out for. Nimrod, our guy, what's going on, brother? Show Nimrod's chart. Oh, Sean wants to. Okay, can we cover Nimrod first? He gave us 60. Had the worst trading week last week. 2 hours with Sharif and Joe, and I'm back in the green. Fat end bull. WTF? Let's go, Nimrod, our guy. Let's go.
There's my guy.
Gifting the memberships as always. Let's see what Katina Man's got cooking up here.
All right, you don't have the mic, so I'll talk about it. So he's been punching in at the lows. As you can see, they're defending that level. It was a rinse and repeat style trade. Aggressive adding, but aggressive profit taking, Katina Man. That's a fantastic look for you off key levels there. Next stop, VWAP. He's looking for that 160. What's VWAP on your chart there? 158.70. That's what the Katina Man is looking at there. 159.70. I stand corrected. I do apologize for that. Good trade there, Sean. Really appreciate that, my man. Shout out to Hayden Posh, Joe, Sharif, the duo we didn't know we needed. That's kind of you, my God.
Who said
your
that
boy, I don't know, Hayden Ponish. I said Posh. I did mispronounce that. I do apologize. Shout out to my man Hayden there, man. A very, very nice, kind words there. I do appreciate that. Adara, what's up?
This part of the show, Sharif and Joe, is brought to you by ProfitX. In sports playing, flexibility is everything. At ProfitX, you can see the order book just like a financial exchange. Pick your spot and customize the odds to fit your risk. Why would you settle for a single offered price when you can just set your own? Plus, our mobile interface makes it easy to play on the go. ProfitX, where you can call the shots anytime, anywhere. Users can use code TraderTV to get our sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300. Back to you.
Fantastic.
Let's go. Yeah, that's fantastic. Let's go here, Google Katina, man. Nice work there.
See that guy that goes around to the gyms that he pretends he's a janitor?
Yeah, that guy.
And
what's his name?
I forget his name.
Like Vitali or something.
Yeah, I think he is.
Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
So his shtick was he would go around, pretend like the weight wasn't heavy, right?
Yeah.
Now he's got a new shtick.
Oh, what is
so he usually comes around with a mop, right? But the mop, my man, is a 45-pound bar.
Oh, yeah,
that
I've seen
he's
that. Yeah, I've
disguised,
seen that
and
one.
he's
Yeah,
giving it to
he's
people
just,
to hold, so he'll like hold it up.
So he can,
like a bodybuilder this side.
So he can clean something. He's like,
The dude is just strong.
yeah. Everybody says that guy. What's his name again? Yeah,
Anatoly. There is that. Mishem.
Anatoly.
Yeah, that guy is hilarious. He showed up on my feed right now, so he just reminded me of something useless to talk about during the midday.
Well, I mean, hey, I think that's useful information. If you guys ever see a
Fake
dude,
weights. Come on,
fake
Skull.
weights.
Have you seen him without his shirt, bro? The
Pulling
dude's
out the
he's not doing
taxes
fake
again.
weights there.
Katina man,
Katina man, you're still doing taxes, brother? What's going on over there?
Come on, bro.
He just gave me the
Just
look.
send it to H&R,
Mind your own
no?
damn business.
I'm not saying it. All right.
It's fake. C-Wave. Why does everyone think all the weights are fake, bro?
I don't think it's fake because there's
No.
guys lifting before him, and then he's like, oh, hold on.
Exactly.
Let me clean.
No.
it,
And you
right?
can always
So-
see the way that fake weights drop.
Yeah,
They're not the
exactly.
same as like with real weights. And that's,
Yeah, speaking of weights, I need to get back in the gym, man. A whole weekend, no gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because of the puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have anything to add about that?
No, he's
Any
a little
lessons
raptor.
learned? So he's a raptor.
Yeah, he's a vampire raptor at that. The guy's up all night. And then
Hold on, what's he damaged so far? Be real.
nothing. He's nothing really damaged. It's just a couple accidents.
That's okay. That's to be
his
expected.
puppy stuff, right? Other than that, he's a good boy, except for with the exception of the obscene crying at nighttime.
Well, I mean that's kind of part and parcel of the whole thing. He just took him away from his mom. I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
exactly.
That's always a tough look.
It's a tough look. So I think he's strong, man. He's
Is he,
nice.
eh?
Yeah, he's strong. Well, I'm gonna try to make him strong. Anyway, so we got to toughen him up, keep him in the cage at night. No, I was the one to cave in on Friday. I'm like, I can't listen to this crying anymore. So I took him on the couch. But yesterday we dug in.
Oh, you're trying to. What's that called? When you let your kid cry, Ferberize or something like that. Like I don't know. Keeping it real, says Katina, man. I think that's a technical word, but yeah.
But yeah, no, last night I'm like, no, we can't keep babying him. He's got to be tough and strong, right? Because when he hits the dog park and he's soft, then the other dogs are going to bully him, and we can't have that. So
you're going to socialize him with other dogs?
Yeah, we got to.
Because I got to tell you, that's one mistake I made. So my dogs, fantastic with people.
Yeah.
They love
other dogs.
No, they don't like other dogs.
Yeah,
and I don't know why, Joseph. Like from when they were little, we approach the other dogs because they're so used to being together, they think that it's them against the world.
Yeah, oh yeah. So
you know what I mean? So they get in like this crouch position and they start like leaning up to them. It's just like, can we just have a good time, man? Like you guys always embarrass me.
They're gorgies, right?
Yeah, they're pitties. I mean, sorry, French bulldogs.
French bulldogs. Oh yeah. So you know what I mean? It's like attack 100, damage 0.
Yo, bro, they don't even bark though. They don't even bark. Yeah, they got nothing to offer.
I mean, the dog parks are hard places, man. You got to watch out for the mean dog park. Especially this guy. He's not going to be very big, right? He's got little legs. But let's see what we got.
We're open on fat end here, Joseph.
Let's go. Continue.
We just unhalted.
Oh wow.
No. I'm out. You guys, fat end. It was a 10-minute halt this time around. Okay, so that's what we talked about. Being certain about. How to trade based on the expectations. So it was not 5, it was 10 this time. We have a 10.41 seller, zigging and zagging down to 10. Here's the deal. The halt level is 966. We've talked about these halt levels acting as intraday areas of support and resistance. I'd like something possibly off that 10 now that we popped back off it. I won't mind getting back into this one, but it's going to have to be an advantageous price. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait here in the low 10s. It doesn't look like it's going to let me in. It's really going now, guys, here. Fat N up 66%. This is a multi-day runner. It's not just today. It was running last week, and it's closing it's popping up into near that high day. 1078 is the HOD. I'm waiting to defend 10. It doesn't likely trigger me here. Boom to the high side. 1098 now HOD, guys. It's an $11 high. or almost give or take a couple of pennies right now, 10.98, so literally 2 pennies. It's not letting me in at 10. I just don't want to chase it at these levels, but fantastic look and good strength here, Joseph.
Good look there. Let's go Google. We're starting to piece them out here, guys, as we climb higher. 58.20s is the average, and we get up to 159. Katina Man's in from the 57, so there you go. He hit that dollar club. Let's see if we can sustain this little pop here. The market running into the volume-weighted average price, and then now rejecting. What is Bitcoin up to? We were trading it earlier. It was one of our better traders on the day. Really nice trading here on Bitcoin in the morning. You can see that we have that price the price compression here pattern, and then we enter right at the break of it. Look at the precision in there, guys, and then we just continue to piece it out as we climb through the high day. So getting the bulk of that move, the meat of that move, really good look there. And then we tried for the continuation of the trend. It just didn't happen. But as soon as we break through that neckline here, you can see that head and shoulders type pattern printing on the 5-minute time frame here, guys. And then once we break that neckline to the downside, we get right out of that trade, and a slow recovery Bitcoin has been in. So we'll be patient to see if anything else sets up here on the session. But we're going to hold on to our last bit here in Google. This is working out really, really nice for us. You can see that we took 2 attempts before, 1, 2. Guess what? 3rd time's a charm here, Shreve. Nice look here on GOOGL as we continue to hold on to this positive session. That gap up helping earlier in the day.
Boom on Fat N. Punched in $10, added 9.95s. Took scalp out 10.15, scalped out again 10.40. Fat N continues to give you good trading opportunities. It didn't quite fill that gap. So as I mentioned, the halt level, it looks to be exactly $9 and either 63 or 60. It looks like 63 cents. And then the low of the previous candles after the halt. Just allow me a minute here. I'm looking at the side screen. The low there. So 9.79, 9.80. 990, and then this current candle has a low of how much? Why is it not telling me? It looks like to be essentially low 80s right now, so it's currently defending that halt level, but it is putting in 4 lower highs in a row, albeit on the 1. So I am a little concerned that this one does lose a bid. I'm talking about Fat N below $10. Ideally, this one closes above $10. It's having a lot of trouble even just getting above $10 right now. So 55% in the green, but by no means a guaranteed trade. Here we go. Now we're right above 10 on the ask, but not on the bid. So we're continuing to zig and zag at that level of psychological support, despite the fact that we got into 10.98, so we're about $1 removed off that high day. I'm talking about Fat Pipe, otherwise known as Fat N, up 57% and change. Looks to be a good trade so far. We've had multiples on it. Now we're above 10 again on both the bid and the ask. So do we punch along here? I'm going long. Oh, bro.
No, you did it.
Just flew. As soon as I hit enter, it flew past my entry. I wanted that hold at that 10.20 area, but it's zigging and zagging right now. So maybe we can get back in here, but that wasn't the move, man. It's got to be on that first pop, not the second pop. So I'm continuing to watch here, excuse me, on Fat N as it zigs and zags right now in the 10 mid-teens. You know, theoretically speaking, you can punch in here, put your stop right below 10, right? And have it defend that way. So we'll keep an eye on this one as it continues to be a little bit volatile at that technical area of support, $10. Go ahead, Adair.
Just be aware here, Wall Street Journal reporting that Scott Bessent, who is the U.S. Treasury Secretary, reportedly prioritizing countries like the United Kingdom, Australia, and South Korea amongst their top targets for trade deals. We know China is ultimately the top target for the administration, or at least for President Donald Trump. But China and Vietnam just entering a memorandum of understanding there, with regards to trade. So it looks like this China target is still far away right now, though Scott Bessent reportedly looking here for UK, Australia, and South Korea, amongst some other countries. And before we send you back to the Bash Brothers, keep an eye out for this on X. Has not yet been posted, brand new. Here is a look here at some of the most recent IPOs that we've had coming through on this market. CoreWeave, Newsmask, and Fat Pipe. In light of the big move Fat Pipe had today and the rally for Webull, which was a special acquisition company, I thought it would be of note to look at some of these. This is going to be on X at TTV Research at any moment. Stay tuned. Back to you.
Guys, make sure you're following Trader TV Research. That's a hell of an infographic. Great reporting there, Dara. As always, thank you very much for that. Fat Pipe. I mean, it giveth and you know what I'm going to say. It taketh away. $11 high of day. I did not mean for that to rhyme. Technically 10.98. And now we are halted, not to the upside this time, guys, to the downside. So needless to say, we've now filled that halt gap, having halted at 963. We are now down halted at 929. So be careful trading this one. Needless to say, obviously I'm going to say it anyway, though, because we have newer viewers and it's incumbent upon me to tell you that. So we'll keep an eye out on this one. The current theoretical auction price, Joseph, essentially a couple of shekels from where we halted. 922, we halted at 929. So really can't discern anything from the imbalances right now as it takes place during the halt. Fat N, guys, is, so this was an IPO?
Yeah,
it was an IPO. Yeah, I thought maybe it was a DL. Yeah, but it's an IPO from last week. I want to give you guys more information on the Webull IPO. So here, let me just load this bad boy up. These are my notes from the morning, so just allow me a second over here to find the right notes, and then I'll zoom in on them. So there's some information here that we have on Webull that could be interesting to some people. Here we go. So it's SPACed, or de-SPACed, I should say, with a company called SK Growth Opportunities. It didn't do much in the way of volume, about 4 million shares on Friday. I don't know if that includes the aftermarket pump. The outstanding shares, according to this article, about 471 million. I don't know if that's the actual amount in circulation right now or not, but this one says about 471.1 million. Just so you understand what Webull is, it was founded in 2016 by an Alibaba alum by the name of Anquan Wong. Its headquarters in St. Petersburg, Florida. I feel like a lot of companies right now, even ARC, right? They're all taking it. Yeah, they're loving St. Petersburg and Tampa Bay, that entire area. I know Neil goes down there every year, Dunedin, for spring training. So it seems like, you know, people loving that area. Platform, you can trade ETFs, crypto, more. It's got 23 million users apparently across 15 regions. They're in Asia, they're in Europe, they're in Latin America. U.S. entry, they launched in 2018, expanding rapidly because of retail trading, etc. Some of the key comparables, as I mentioned earlier, Hood, Coin, SoFi. I don't happen to agree that Coin and SoFi are comps, but Hood, I would definitely say, is a comp, even though I think Hood is probably a little bit ahead of them right now. They're offering wealth management, stuff like that. I don't know if Webull is offering all that quite yet. So that's just some basic information about the company, should that interest you, as we traded all day. Yeah. So that's a look right now, Joseph.
Yeah, good look there. Good insight there, my friend. So let's see what we got going on here, guys. I was looking at this trend here on, some of this TA here on NVDA. So you can see earlier we were referring to this price action pattern. We got a nice little long here, but then once it broke, we just had to get out of that trade. And then you can see that we make that next leg to the downside, holding some of these lows. So you can see some key support levels coming into play. Important to look and mark these out every day. And again, filling the gap. So a nice gap up here in the market. And then with this overall sentiment, I'm like, oh, be weary of this fade. I don't like to see that necessarily. I would rather personally like to see a small gap down, and then we can fill that gap and then continue that topside momentum. But going to the downside, that gap now completely filled. So nothing to worry about. I mean, what a grab this name was in 80s. I truly wish I did pick some of it. I didn't grab any of it in 80. And I don't, because if I did, that would be really nice there, my friend. So that was a while ago, April 7th when it hit 83. It tapped right into it.
A lot of people saying it's good for options, Joseph.
NVDA?
Some people are saying it, yeah.
Yeah, NVDA is great for options because essentially it's very liquid, right? One of the more volume traded stocks.
Newer traders, listen up, guys. First month, it's free. That's right. We're waiving the fees. You get to trade smarter, not harder, by upgrading to that elite experience. You'll be able to analyze, you'll be able to strategize, and then hopefully after all that, you'll capitalize on their platform that's got everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, and game-changing charts. You can predict better as well with good backtesting. You get reliable real-time data, global markets literally at your fingertips. It's all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. If you're ready to elevate your trading, scan that QR code or check the link in the description. Shout out to the great folks at eSignal. A hell of a platform, constantly using it, Joseph.
Yeah, good look there. And Scully Scalps has no promo, but Webull offers 4% APR savings as well in futures trading and more. So there you go.
No, I actually meant to say before the ad read, a lot of people saying it was good for options.
Options?
Like,
It's good for options.
That's what I meant.
Okay, yeah. So sorry. Yeah, I've never personally traded. I know a couple people that were using Webull, but yeah, I've never personally used it. But here we go, guys. We're all out of this Google trade here. A nice pop up, 158.20s, and then we get that move all the way up to roughly 159s exactly. And then IBIT being one of the better trades on the session here as well. So you can see we're forming those higher lows, a nice resistance zone. We break through it with volume, and then we just slowly take it out. So nice look on that front. And then the NVDA trade, this is where, see, I like this trade a lot. Even though it wasn't the most profitable, I'm just happy with how I executed it. Because essentially what happened, it started not good. So I'm like, okay, let me get in on this signal. And I'm like, okay, more room, you need it in this environment. I get out, but then I'm like, oh no, I'm wrong. I'm supposed to give it more room. I hopped right back in, Sharif, add to the position, and I was holding it for the break of the volume weighted average price. But I mentioned this to Katina Men earlier, 113, 114, lots of open interest. We couldn't absorb that, and that's why we moved to the downside. Path of least resistance, guys.
Sorry, just a lot of people are talking about Webull. I'm good to go. I'm watching Fat Pipe here drop aggressively. Now, I was thinking about buying it here only because it was VWAP, but it has such an aggressive pattern to the downside. It had me feeling a little bit hesitant. Sorry, let me just throw in the ticker. FATN is a ticker I'm talking about, FATN. Now, the white line, as I've mentioned multiple times, is the volume weighted average price on my black charts, and that's where this one is holding up now. It was an aggressive move, essentially from 1098 is the high of the day, and it's putting in lower lows and lower highs on a 3-candle basis on the 5. So if this candle closes in this way, it's 15 minutes of selling off here. So it's finding some support. As you can see, the body of the candle is continuing to defend that volume weighted average price, despite the fact that we wicked into 850. VWAP is around 880, 875. Can't really gauge it right now. So I was asking Gaurav, I'm like, does it have level 2 Webull? And he's like, yeah, it does. I trade on it. So yeah, apparently people are speaking good about it. Abhishek Desai. Is Amazon looking strong now for an up move to the high of the day? He's asking you and myself. Let me just look at it for you here since I already answered, already looked at the question, excuse me. Let's have a look at Amazon. All right, so we talked about Meta and why Meta is weak on the day. I'll submit to you guys, though, that I don't know how Amazon is not selling off more. I mean, what percentage of products do you think are sold on Amazon that are manufactured in China? I mean, I don't have any idea. We can ask ChatGPT.
Oh, I'm just about to pull up your good old friend here.
Oh God, Copilot?
You're good,
Copilot.
buddy.
It's definitely going to give us a wrong answer. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
No shade.
Let's compare.
Shade.
No, seriously,
yeah,
let's compare.
fair.
All right,
let's do it. We're doing it live.
Okay, we got to ask it the same question.
You got to bring it up on the screen, Joseph.
Ask it the same question.
Yeah, so we're going to go Sharif midday queries over here on chat. And so we'll do USA Amazon, so we can give it a specific, because there's multiple Amazon.
Exactly. So.
What percentage of products sold on Amazon's USA website are manufactured in China? All right, let's find out over here. Come on, chat. There's no official percentage by Amazon that states exactly what portion of products sold on its website. However, estimates from analysts, and industry reports suggest roughly 40 to 50% of all products sold on Amazon.com are believed to be manufactured in China. For Amazon's private label brands, it may even be higher. Some reports indicate up to 70% of Amazon branded goods are produced in China. Among third-party sellers, who account for about 60%, Joseph, of total sales, more than half are based in China. So they're third-party sellers, bro. Forget about the products. Their freaking sellers are in China. What do you got?
More than 70% of the products sold by wholesalers and retailers on Amazon are produced in China.
Yep, there we go.
So there you go, Sharif. 70%. I don't know how to zoom
Shift
in.
and then or control and then the mouse thing, the ball.
Yeah, we got
There you
zoom
go.
in. We're zooming in.
Oh, it's not doing it live,
No,
eh?
not doing it
Okay,
live,
that's
yeah,
all
no.
right. That's fine.
That's all right.
So the whole point, guys, is we were talking about Meta and the headwind, the regulatory headwind there, Joseph, obviously because of the FTC. I mean, unless there's going to be some sort of exception specifically for Amazon here, how do they skirt this? I mean, like, what are they supposed to do? You're not going to convince me they're going to be able to adjust for this that quickly. I just don't believe it. So there's going to have to be a specific Amazon exemption here. We didn't even see an Apple specific exemption, to be fair. We got a smartphone exemption, a microchip exemption, but we didn't get an Apple specific exemption. So not even the monster Apple is able to secure one here. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but that does concern me here for
AWS, man, that's all we need.
That's what I was about to get to.
Right?
That's what I was about to get to.
AWS.
But you have to assume that that's already priced in.
Yeah.
Right? That's already discounted into the market. We know AWS is amazing. I mean, they're the best in class, followed by Azure, then followed by Google Cloud. But I mean, that's already, you have to assume all AWS's profits, their growth, everything's already factored in.
Yeah.
Fact in. Sorry, what? All right, go ahead, Joseph.
All right, yeah, let's see what we got going on here, guys. We're going to pull something up and see what we're getting. Okay, I don't know why it does that.
Okay.
Sell. I don't know what that means. Okay, I got to click on that. You click on that there, Sharif. We're going to talk a little bit about the markets because it looks like IBIT is heading towards some key resistance zones, and we want to know if we're going to break through. I like the daily price action here, and I thought that we were going to continue to climb higher in Bitcoin. I thought it was going to be a bullish day, and I was slightly wrong. A nice, strong trend right out the open, roughly about an hour or so, is when we started to recover and break through some of the pre-market highs, but then we just gave the majority of that back there, guys. So yeah, let's see if we can start to head in that positive direction. And see, one thing I want to note here, guys, on Bitcoin, let's pull up BTC. Talking to me? Oh no, he's talking to Sharif.
Average.
There we go. So here we go. This is what I was looking at.
Keep going.
And now we're starting to be on the backside of this trend here, guys. We opened up. So again, if we can hold that and maintain, then maybe we get somewhat of a reversal here. And I mean, it does track the NAS it's highly correlated to NAS, I should say, but if it can definitely sway and start to run its own trend, and hopefully that can get going here in Bitcoin if we continue to hold the backside here. Sharif, what do you got going on there?
I don't know. This is an interesting little animation page. I don't know what to call this thing. It says sell, sell, sell. Toyota is king of the automobile world with 11 million cars sold per year. Then, first released in 2009, Minecraft is still one of the best-selling video games. Samsung, Joseph, sells 40 freaking million TVs a year. And AirPods, we know Apple sells a whole bunch of them. Is capitalism giving you a headache? Buy some Advil. How about Cheerios is the most popular cereal with over 100,000 boxes sold a year. Campbell's, though, can't be
100
understated.
million, right? So you said
100 million
Yeah,
boxes sold per year. Yeah, not actual individual Cheerios.
No, well, you said 100,000. I'm like,
Oh, my bad.
you know.
Yeah, that would be a lot more than that, bro. Jeez, yeah.
I'm like, that's
Campbell's
not that
Soup has owned the soup market since the 1800s. Here's Apple printing money again. They sell a whole bunch of cell phones, and Adidas produces more than 400 million shoes per year, and the world does really love pizza, and they love Domino's, which is happy to oblige them. And you could probably guess that who sells the most burgers up in this place. It's definitely McDick's.
Wow.
And then, oh well, anyway, all those are some of the products that have won capitalism. Congratulations to the actual winner, though. He is the OG, and this is the company that sells the most. 222 Amazon packages delivered per second. That's a lot of packages, bro.
Yeah. Shout out Lauren Sanchez, too.
Yeah. You hear about that 4-day extravaganza she's got going on there?
She was
or
going
2-day
up
or something like
in
that?
space with,
so apparently, he rented all the water taxis in Venice. There are no water taxis available on that day because your boy Bezos had to get them all because, well, we know who really wants that big wedding. Anyway.
Yeah, I would want that too.
Yeah, I'm sure you would, right? yeah, of course.
Hey,
It's the way that works there. But that's going to be like a huge, I think it's at the end of May, early June, something like that. Lauren Sanchez And what's his name? Jeff Bezos. Getting married. Yeah. I hope he's got an ironclad prenup this time, bro, because he got rinsed last time. Dara's like, oh yeah.
How much did he lose? It was like,
he lost half.
How many billions?
Yeah, he lost half.
And then didn't she donate most of it?
She donated quite a bit, so chapeau to her.
Yeah,
but
so there you go.
Yeah, he got rinsed. So we'll have to see what he's got up his sleeve this time.
I'm signing that prenup.
What's that?
I said, are you signing that prenup?
To get married to Bezos?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because imagine what you get. You don't get everything, obviously.
But you can still.
By the way, some prenups can be basically patently unfair. It can be dismissed by the court, depending on the jurisdiction. By the way.
There you go. So and a White Lotus reference there, guys.
I heard people are freaking out because the show's over.
I love White Lotus.
I've never watched it.
I just started it not too long ago. I think it's a fantastic show. But there you go, the White Lotus. I forget her name's Tanya. You got to tighten that up there, Tanya. But R.I.P. Tanya.
I like it. Yeah. Let's see what everybody's saying there in the chat. Jay Lee, how does POTUS think there will not be a massive class action suit for all the small importers demanding same treatment as Apple? Well, that's the thing, Jay. I don't think he actually singled out a company this time. That's what the point I was making. He singled out like phones, microchips. He didn't say, oh, no, Apple gets one. Oh, no, Amazon gets one. But good point. I do anticipate seeing litigation either way. We know how litigious the United States generally is. So keep an eye out on that. No, I mean, that's the truth.
Yeah, no, I was laughing at something else.
Okay. Adara writes, may we never forget the infamous Sanchezberg moment. Adara. I know exactly what you're talking about, Adara. Seen around the world on Inauguration Day, the social media reaction was too funny. You are absolutely right. I got to echo that sentiment 100%, Adara. Eddie, maybe her ex-wife did really support him and help build the company. I have no idea. I don't care either way. Mark Susi, White Lotus is awesome.
Bang.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that, man. I mean, a lot of people are talking about having withdrawals from the fact that it's over. Some people are happy with how it ended. Some people are like left in a state of disarray. I don't know either way. My man Ozan. So my conclusion is Sharif and Joe are going to get married to Bezos. Where do I sign up, bro? I'll leave right now.
I'm done.
Oh, I'm leaving right now, bro.
And if I get a boat made after me too, that's even bonus.
Have you seen the size of that sailboat?
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Have you
seen the size of the support boat that he's got for that monster sailboat?
No,
it's ridiculous.
And trust,
support boat, Joseph?
Yeah, I want to see the tender there that they got going on because your boy has been watching in the background. I think Below Deck is one of the best shows to just have on in the background. It's like you don't need to pay attention. You're getting nice sun, you're in the Mediterranean, or if you're a Down Under fan, you're getting Australia and the likes of that. Adara's loving Down Under. So that is my background killer right now.
You want to see the support boat,
Yeah, let's
Joseph?
see the support. Let's see the tender here.
Okay, so here it is. This is just the support boat, Joe. Why is the link broken? Do better. Okay, so this is the one.
Yeah.
This is actually not the boat, not the main boat. Sorry, I just have to load this up over here. Come on. This might be a little dicey.
Man,
this is the actual boat. Okay, so this is open link in open image in new tab. Sorry, we'll just do this for 1 second. Open image in new tab. Here it is. So this is the actual boat. It's a sailboat. So this is the real one. That's not the support vessel. That's the monster. This is what supports that thing.
Yeah, there you go.
He can park his helicopter there. He's got lots of stuff. Adara has breaking news though.
I do. We've been talking a lot here about this FTC trial with regards to Meta. I'm reading here on X, apparently Mark Zuckerberg is taking the stand in this FTC case to break up Meta platforms. He will be the first witness in this trial. So META on watch here, trying to actually push to the upside as Mark Zuckerberg is set to take the stand. If I see any comments coming through from this case, I will let you know right away. This is what I'm seeing here right now through Anyway on X, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But regardless, the stock is moving and his headline is circulating, and back to you.
That's crazy how they put him to testify on the first day.
Wow.
I thought like it would be like down the line. Like I thought we would have advance notice. Oh, Zuck's going to testify tomorrow, and like you get mentally prepared for that.
Absolutely.
I didn't think it was going to be on the same day, the day we start the trial. Wow.
There you go.
Did I know that Zuckerberg bought a house in D.C. so that he could be closer to Washington? I did not know that, Fabian, but that doesn't surprise me at all. Especially when you've got billions in the market and in a company, you're going to want to cozy up to the decision makers. I can completely understand that, but did not know that. Thanks for that information, Fabian.
Yeah, great stuff there, and thank you for that, Fabian. Let's see if we can get this pop here in Bitcoin, guys. You can see that we're forming those higher lows. Really good look. That volume started to step in on the lower time frames, and the momentum pushing us through some of this resistance zones. Let's see if we can get this pop and this continued move, because I do believe that we can turn strong, make it strong today.
Strong.
Strong. Take my strong hand. Everybody knows where that's from. But let's pull up, hold on, I want to pull up something else and show it to you guys what I got going on to see if we can really, because I want to start buying some more shares here.
Okay.
I have a really good average in IBIT. I've been telling you guys this, but I want to wait until the underlying actually starts moving to average in. I don't want to, because I'm positioned relatively well, I don't want to really mess it up and then there'd be some more potential downside. So let's zoom out here and see what we got going on from a daily perspective, and are we ready to continue to move? So this is what I've done previously, nothing crazy, but you can see we have this downtrend and now we've snapped it and sitting on the back side of it. Can we continue this move? I'm going to be patient, wait and see, but if we break through 88s and head into 90s, then our next level is going to be 91, 92s, and I believe if we can really get that momentum going, we can break that and reach for all-time highs. The third year of the halving cycle is the strongest, and I want Bitcoin to start recovering because we've made that 33% climb and then just been chopping around ever since, Sharif.
Yeah, where are we at, man? We're dancing with the 85 all morning. Oh, accumulation at high 84s. Yeah, that's an interesting look here on Bitcoin. I was reading another really interesting article too. If you guys are interested in the miners, it may not be a good time. I'm talking about the Bitcoin miners who are looking like they're going to face some big headwinds right now because of the new tariffs. So just allow me to load this up over here. Was it? Yeah, I think it was the MSTR article that I reviewed this morning, the MicroStrategies. There it is. Yeah, so look at this. So Bitcoin miners remain vulnerable to the 145% tariffs on Chinese ASICs, as Fabian told me how to say it today, and mining gear. Analysts warn that 20% Analysts warn of a 20% rise in infrastructure costs for U.S. miners that will obviously impact profitability. So essentially, what you got to take from this is that a lot of the mining equipment, if not most of it, comes from China, and they're not being exempt under the new exemptions. So it's going to hurt some of the miners. Adair, breaking news.
When we have the market pushing up in general, Microsoft, with a bit of a catalyst to be aware of, they announced here on their website that they are announcing a GPT 4.1 model series for Azure AI Foundry developers. So they're working, I guess, here with ChatGPT for this 4.1 model series for Azure AI. So Microsoft AI-related announcement. Keep in mind, information reported earlier today that apparently ChatGPT thinks that they can do a $20,000 a month tier for OpenAI, OpenAI wants to do this for ChatGPT. It would be doctorate level. So that was in talks earlier today. Keep an eye on Microsoft and, I guess, as an extent with these OpenAI related stories. Back to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I remember we had this discussion. I think I showed you guys the guy that I follow on TikTok. His name is Nate. I think he has a YouTube channel as well. I get all my information on AI and like the new language models and what's happening in the AI scene from him. I'll pull up his social media in a second. But what he was talking about on the weekend was something super important. So I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I don't know if you've used ChatGPT enough to reach the memory limit. But if you've been interacting with ChatGPT within the same chat, it kind of remembers things about you up until a certain point. That was called, the artificial memory. It was like a brilliant scientist who had a memory of 6 months. And then after that, it would forget everything you had told it prior to that date. So you would have to reapprise it of that information if you wanted it to take into account when it was giving you the answer. Apparently, your friends over at ChatGPT, Sam Altman and crew, have actually solved that problem because that Nate guy dropped a video on the weekend basically saying that main issue, which was projected to cost billions of dollars to fix because they would have to get more computers and more memory to kind of keep up with that, has been fixed. Apparently, it was a software workaround. So it's not just DeepSeek and the Chinese that are looking for efficiencies here because they have to. The Americans are doing it either way. So I do like that because you've been hearing a lot about, oh, American exceptionalism is over. It's time for the other areas of the world to catch up, especially with respect to AI. Well, we're still seeing these Americans make big gains, big steps in AI. So, yeah, Joseph, just take over for a second because I want to show who this guy is. And
absolutely.
a lot of people
I
will
remember
get
that guy that you're showing him
Nate.
not too long ago. So Nate is his name. But yeah, let's see what's going on here with Bitcoin here. It's still positive on the session here, guys, 1.2% on the day. Is this potential add territory? Maybe, possibly. I think so. Let's add a little bit to it. Just in case we get that 3-bar play, I like this pullback price action. We're going to play for the break of it. All right, let's see if we can get into 48.30s here now, guys. So you can see we broke through the volume weighted average price, and then a couple candles after you get that breath, and then another indecision, looking for buyers to step in and push us high through this high, and then that's the way we can get into 48.30. And there we go. What an ad there, guys. That's how it's done. You just seen it, how we did it. So a nice crack through, nice breath. That's, again, just seed time, guys. The longer you get it, you'll be able to identify what's going on here, and that's exactly why I added at that precise moment. And the same thing earlier in the day. It's not always going to work, but as we broke through some of the key levels and key areas, there we go. We get in just reading the tape and the price action. So a nice climb higher here in IBIT. Let's see if we can continue this momentum. I would like a nice strong day from Bitcoin because your boy's got a hefty amount of shares and looking to grab some more here momentarily, especially when we start to get moving. We're going to get in via swings, and we're going to add to the long term as well, because when things work, you want to make those trades as big as possible. And guys, you know what's happened over the past couple of months. We've lost a lot of unrealized. We don't want to have to wait until we get all the way back to the highs. We want to be able to add into those positions. By the time that we get to those highs, we've now made that trade as big as possible. Shrib, you got what you're looking there for?
Yes, sir. So this is the guy. I just want to make very clear, we're not associated with Nate B. Jones at all. I just happened to find him quite informational, and he puts things that are way beyond my pay grade and my intelligence level in a way that I can understand them. And so anytime he drops a new video and it's AI related, I make sure to listen to it. And they're quite lengthy. They're not short. They're like, 7, 8, sometimes longer. And he has YouTube as well. So it's not just on TikTok. If you're anti-TikTok and you don't want to get on there, Nate B. Jones is a guy that I follow for my latest AI information. He hasn't steered me wrong so far. So just wanted to mention that. So that's where I get my information. And yeah, I'm reading some of the comments there in the chat. Jay Lee says, end of the day, all AI is still just a computer program and never has a true understanding. Example, AI hallucinations will never go away ever because of that. I said, I responded, I'm like, you think so? And he goes on to say, they might reduce how often hallucinations happen, but never will go away, in my humble opinion. Shout out to Jay Lee, a very opinionated person and one that I happen to respect a lot. So shout out to Jay Lee. Normal special, been dying to tell Joseph about Amazon. It's at 180.23 level. Okay, let's have a look at Amazon. 180, 182 right now. It's down. Well, it's off the low. Certainly, it was, I think, over 2% in negatory land. We did drop below 180, albeit very momentarily. We dropped down about 179.23, but we are now kind of trying to curl back up. I just saw bull absolutely tank on the side chart over here. So bull is going to halt down at 64.05. If we continue like this for a few more seconds, a rogue print there came in at 64.16. Most of the prints coming in at 05, so we need a couple of more seconds at this level. 64.05 halt level. Bull still up 383. Why is it taking so long to halt? There we go. And we're halted down, Joseph. 64.05 on bull. We are about $16 or so off that high a day. I'm talking about that 79.56 high a day. Currently halted 64.09. I do see some support here at $60. Whether or not it holds up there, your guess is as good as mine. Currently, the theoretical auction price, though, a hearty $11 higher than the halt level. We're showing yeah, Neil, it's showing me 75 tap. We're halted at 64.05. So an aggressive top coming in right now, but as we know, the theoretical auction price is a dynamic level, Joseph, so it can change umpteen amount of times while the stock is halted. We are now overtime, though.
Overtime, guys. Make sure you have those stops in place. Risk management is key in this environment. And hopefully everybody had a good trading day.
Fantastic.
Sharif and I will see you right and early at 11 a.m.
Peace.
Oh, and I'm unmuted too. Look, man, overtime.
Welcome back.
There's no such thing as overtime, gentlemen.